everybody, and welcome to Roll Together RPG and to the next episode of our Chronicles of Aeodrun Awakening series. My name is Josh, I use he, him pronouns, and I shall be your game master for tonight. And as you can see, I am surrounded by a bunch of absolutely wonderful people. I'm going to get them to introduce themselves right now and the characters that they're playing, and maybe a little bit of a note as to what you got up to in the last session and how your characters are currently feeling. I'm going to go to Tom first.
Fair enough. Hello, y'all. My name's Tom. I use he, him pronouns, and I am playing Bram, half elf, half orc, half bit fighter, bit warlock, all nepo baby, and inadvertently negligent dad. Turns out sometimes you father a child and then just don't know it exists, and then eventually go, wait, that looks like my hat. Oh my god, it's like a little version of me. So, in last episode, Bram was forced into having a complicated conversation with the woman he loves, who basically said, play it cool, Shatteroak. Also, he's like the best version of you. And Bram was like, oh no, what a difficult world I've brought a child into. So Bram is attempting to play things cool. And it's fortunate that we've got other things to worry about, such as the cook, Rodney, and turns out there's all sorts of gadgets and gizmos, and maybe I'll get to meet a horse. Who knows? I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. Moving on from Tom, we've got Nat.
Hello, I'm Nat. I use she, her pronouns. I'm playing Elodie Fogg, who also uses she, her pronouns most of the time. And Elodie is doing okay. There's a lot of mixed emotions. There's still the underlying, like, oh, great, people want to use me as a sacrifice because I have magic blood. That's not great. But, you know, has had some pep talks from some lovely people, Udric, and some terrifying people, Hera. And, you know, we broke into a gadget shop. There were gadgets and gizmos aplenty, and she wanted the who's its and what's its galore. And it was very exciting. And also there was a badass old lady in there that we slightly idolise. So, yeah, mixed times for Elodie Fogg.
Fantastic. And then moving over to one of the badasses of the group, the beefling that is Talia.
Not Hera.
Talia.
No, I am a beefling in real life, honest. No, I am Talia, she, her pronouns, playing Hera Castillo, our beefling paladin of redemption for very specific reasons. Also she, her. Spent part of the last episode very much explaining what those reasons were to the trauma of Penny and Elodie, who are having to listen in. I don't know why you're scared. This is a normal thing. I am a normal person. Honest.
Sure.
This is normal for me.
Everything is fine.
Also discovering that the actual mother of her child has been kidnapped and is being held hostage, which is better than dead, but worse than free. But yeah, on the other hand, people in her team are getting to go through their emotions, which means they're gelling better as a group, which means we might be a more effective fighting force. Priorities. Yeah.
And then moving on from that, we're going to come to one of the sweetest dads to ever exist. Party dads is Sean.
Hello, I'm Sean. I use he, him pronouns, as does Kanan Udric, who is an orc druid, apparently. Still hasn't quite got a handle on the old druid powers. And I mean, this is where I've got to admit, I haven't played for a little bit because of reasons, and I'm struggling to remember stuff. The last thing I remember is the big grouping of the people who had a name.
Town hall meeting of the Sparrows.
Sparrows.
Yes.
It was Sparrow. I was trying to remember if there was an adjective as well. It's like the silver sparrow, the gold sparrow, the sparrows. Yeah, so I think that is the last time that Udric was around. Other than that, has just been tending a garden, making, flowers grow, and making sure that gardeners don't die of the thing that apparently is going around. Yeah, that's me. Oh, and totally not fawning over other druids. That's not a thing.
Also, as established in episode 6, Udric does all of the gardening shirtless, apparently.
Well, yeah, otherwise you get mud on your shirt.
Yeah, it saves sea on soap. Also, Udric built a little shrine, which we commented is a risk in a world, just like anyone could be challenged and go, oh, marvellous. But yeah, hot dad. I love my 2 dads.
Love my 2 dads.
Love my 2 dads. Before we jump into tonight's session, we have some sponsors and supporters to thank. Our sponsor for tonight is Phoenix Dice. You can go to phoenixdice.com to get yourself some absolutely amazing clickety-clack math rocks, including some limited edition roll-together dice. And if you use the code ROLLTOGETHER, all caps, at checkout, you can get yourself 25% off your purchase. We're also proud to be supported by Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms. You can put exclamation point code into chat right now to get yourself a free Electrum chest, which will give you in-game items that you can use to power up your characters as you gather them and fight waves of monsters across all different types of platforms. We are also proud to support and be supported by Bearded Ladies. Veteran Roll Together members G and Ed have made a fantastic clothing company. You can check that out in the links in the chat. And also Michael Dobson's character art. All of the art that you can see where our characters are, all the character art you can see was done lovingly by Mike. If you follow the links in chat, you can go to Mike's Instagram page and request commissions if you want to see your own characters done in that art style. All of that will also be in the description down below if you're watching us on YouTube, which, if you'd like to leave a comment, like the channel and subscribe to the channel, that helps us know what you like so we know what to make more of. Finally, a massive thank you to the D20 Club on Patreon. They are fantastic. They are the best. You can join them from as little as 1 of your local currency per month, or 1 goat, which must be sent to Tom for no die park reasons. Again, by following all of the links that appear everywhere. I've had enough of talking, which is strange because I'm now going to be DMing for the next couple of hours. So we will see you in a little bit. In our last session, just after the meeting with the various members of the Sparrows, we discovered a little bit more about Lilla's condition. Lilla is currently suffering with something known as the slumber, which is a disease or a natural condition that both dragons and dragonkin suffer with, which is strange because Lilla is a dwarf. So there's some little bit of a mystery there. A little bit of healing was done, which is potentially reduced the amount of time that Lilla will need to be asleep for in order to recover, or hibernating for. The group did some other various jobs around, or not jobs, but little tasks around the town. They discovered a little bit more about what was going on with Rodney and decided to go into Goggle Springs to see if they could find the pieces that were needed to repair his gadget on his leg. He's not been seen for a few days and is believed to be at his house. Going into Goggle Springs, they found one of these little capsule things that they need before they declared that the shop was now theirs, and a voice behind them went, no, I don't think so, it's actually mine. And an elderly dwarvish lady of the halfling-looking variety named Agatha came out of the cellar and basically said, no, this is my family's place. And then we were introduced to some high-tech power suit that was being created, almost like Iron Man, sort of Iron Man meets Fallout style suit, and some other techno gizmos that Elodie sort of fangirled over a little bit is a pretty safe way to do that. And she also gave a massive handful of these little chargy things that are needed for Rodney to the group. The armor is unusable. She said that, if you get in that, it's going to snap you back.
After she put me in it.
Wow.
Yeah, she put you in it and then said, don't move.
Also, can I check? Is she Agatha or is she Agnes? Because
Agnes. Did I say Agatha?
You said Agatha. I think Agatha's...
She was Agatha all along.
I think
too.
Agatha's the Gold Spring.
Agatha is the
on the
granddaughter.
mission.
She is Agnes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who's the daughter?
No one's asked. Another A.
Agneta?
Agneta. Agrophobia.
Agnostic.
Angela? Agatha, Agnes. Oh, yeah, it should be an ag.
It should be an ag.
Agnola.
Aggie.
Agretta.
There you go, Aggie. We're going to go with that.
Aggie.
Aggie. Anyway, we come into this session as we are going to see what Udric has been up to during this little bit of a time. We're still on the same day. You, Udric, for yourself. Yes, I know, we're on the same day. I'm terrible with letting you all have long rests. It's a good thing that you're not repeatedly having combats every session.
We got to sleep, so surely Udric has to as well.
Udric will get to sleep, yes.
I had 8 hours for once in my life. It was great.
I just want it to be tomorrow. It's only a day away.
And a day away in this world is like 5 sessions.
As
As we've
come
established.
out tomorrow, bet your bottom dollar come tomorrow.
The musical theatre cast getting excited here.
Just imagining Sean in a ginger curly wig now.
We are coming up to Halloween at the time of recording, so...
Editors, put a ginger curly wig on Sean.
It looks incredible.
It's going to be a Patreon goal.
Yeah, I don't know if the kobolds are going to be able to do that, but hey ho.
I believe in them.
Yes, Udric, you were present during the meeting with the Sparrows, which happened the day before. So you have been able to have a long rest. So you may click that long rest button if you would like to. Although if you've used any spells, I'm slightly concerned.
I am missing some slots. I can't remember why.
From the gardening?
Potentially.
Who knows?
I mean, Druidcraft's a cantrip, right? So that shouldn't have...
Cool. Long rest. Confirm. Boom.
Yes. Although talk of animals, if you've cast that would probably use up a spell slot, wouldn't it? I don't know if that's 2nd or 3rd level. I can't remember.
Yeah, it's probably that. Maybe I walked past some Reavers and wither and bloomed them. Who knows? The world
Oddly
is mine.
enough, you've not seen any Reavers since the burning down of Solomon's Mercenary Company. There have been no Reavers in Merkstead at all.
Even in the awful pub.
Even
we
in the
haven't
awful pub.
We haven't...
Awful pub has been very quiet.
We haven't been to the awful pub yet.
We've been
And I'm just
past
like,
it.
We went
Yeah.
Good opportunity.
past it, yeah.
Yeah. Been past it a couple of times. But yes, Udric, you wake up in the morning and you are able... What would you like to do for the day? You sort of make your presence known to everyone who is around. None of the player characters are around. And if any of them are, they seem to be uninteractable. You can't seem to click on them.
I think it's only going to be
what-
that none of them would have been there, right? Because it was Lucian went to the hospital and the rest of us left quite early.
Yes.
And I
breakfast
might just to help
was
you out,
made.
Sean.
Mm.
I think Elodie will have done a magical tinkering to leave a little stone slate with a little message on it. I can do a static visual effect, including up to 25 words. So it would have said,
Okay.
gone to Goggle Springs, Herbalist, Rodney's, Fighting Pits, ?
Herbalist. Oh. Might have liked to have done that. Never mind.
We're going to see her again,
Still
hopefully.
can.
Also, there's cold food, because there was a lot of cooking, so there's a lot of packaged stuff that you can eat if you want to have a good breakfast.
That herbalist.
That herbalist, yes.
That herbalist.
Oh, good. You've all met. Good. Okay.
Mhm.
Good.
Yes, not a different person who. Yeah, let's move on.
Yeah. Udric's probably like, oh, all right. They must have gotten up super early. Uh, I guess we'll go to the garden then. He will go. He will go. Like try to wend his way to the church, but he's kind of going to do it going past the shop that sells Solomon's newspaper, and might kind of try to assist, because like the kids do their paper rounds, like might try to assist and just like get to know the town a little bit better.
Yeah,
doing a route. Obviously, assuming the kid is happy for a 40-year-old orc to follow them around on their route. Probably the daughter of the tavern owners.
I was about to say, yeah, it is. Just as you're walking out the door, you bump into Johanna as she's also leaving to go to the store. Oh, hello, Mr. Carnan. Where are you going?
Oh, good morning, Johanna. I was just going down to the to shop.
Oh, that's where I'm going.
Bench.
I'm going to do my paper. Do you want to come with me?
Well, yeah, sure. I'd love to see a bit more of the town. Actually, not really.
Oh, you actually want to come on the paper round with me?
Oh, is that what you were offering?
Oh, I thought you just wanted to go to the shop to get some bits. But if you actually want to come on, it would mean I'd get it done a lot quicker. And if you want to show around the town, I can definitely help you. I've got to go pretty much all over the place anyway, so I'm definitely up for that. If you're willing to carry my bag for me, as she's beaming. It's that day of the week where they put the extra inserts in the papers, so they're really heavy. So I'd be quite glad for the extra help.
No problem. All right, and then you've got to get to the church for your school, yeah?
Yes, I've got to do the ring around of some of the children, and you can see that attached to her bag is another bag which has got a bunch of leather high-vis jackets on the little tiny high-vis jackets that she puts on all of the kids when they're walking from where she picks them up to the school.
Well, it's a dangerous time, so I think that seeing as I'm going to the church as well, I may as well tag along.
Okay. I would ask for you to wear one of these leather high-vis jackets. However, there isn't one that is big enough for you, unfortunately, because they're all for children. So you could put one around your neck like a scarf if you wanted to. I'm sure your head will fit through one of the arms. I don't know.
I mean, just to oblige, Udric will just kind of try and kind of fit around a head, or like maybe he'll just like try and tie it around his arm like an armband.
Yeah, tying it around your arm like an armband works perfectly well, and it's quite tight, but yeah, does the job. Not tight to the point where it's cutting off any sort of circulation or anything like that, but yeah. So
I'm not the muscle daddy. Those of you who are doing muscle man things, I have a net strength of 0. So
you're strong to me, Papa.
0 is normal, so you have normal person strength.
Yeah. And, a lot of people who are very built up actually don't have functional muscles. They are just for show. So could still be a muscle daddy.
You've got a gardener's body. You're doing a lot of digging, yeah.
There's some work in there.
I'm not sure how comfortable I am with the sexualization of my character.
We are moving on swiftly.
on second thoughts, I'm very comfortable with it. Carry on.
Tell me how gorgeous I am, please.
We've all seen the Michael Dawson's character art.
Yeah.
Yes. Look at that. There. It's somewhere on the overlay. You'll see it. There's the muscle daddy. Anyway, you walk to the shop with Johanna and help her set up her papers, and there's not really much that happens other than all of the papers get sorted out into where they're being delivered to, and you're able to carry the bags. The bag is quite heavy. It's very, very sort of difficult to understand how a 12 to 14-year-old could carry bags a bag that's this heavy. She does explain to you that normally she would have to go around one section of the town delivering, come back to the shop, put the other section in, then go back around the other bit. But because you're with her, she's decided to take all of it at once because she's not carrying it. And she's very open about that.
I've got Ruxpin and Kissifer as well, so they'll probably take a little over back saddle bag as well.
Yeah, I like the idea that they've got their own little bags and pouches and things that they carry around, and they're very, very happy to do that.
Probably
I will-
also put a high vis jacket on them as well.
Yeah, they just about fit in the high vis jacket because they are a little bit bigger than what they were when you first got them. Could you roll me a nature check, please?
I would love to roll a nature check. I'm gonna trust D&D Beyond.
Oh no!
Should not have done that.
Oh, we got for the last
it's an
game we
11.
recorded.
11 on nature.
11. I mean, nature is your jam, and you've been around animals enough to know. Eat kobold jam. These bears shouldn't be as big as they are for how old they are. They were small before, probably tiny. Let's say they were tiny before because they were babies. They've now risen to the top end of small, so they're about up to the shoulder of Tally, or Lilla, depending. They're quite big. So they're about 3.5 foot on their paws. So they look like teenagers basically, if you were to look at it from an animal perspective.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Bears.
Yeah, basically. Okay. Yeah, they've grown up. I mean, this is they've been with you 2 or 3 days now. They are growing up very quickly. You might have 2 full-grown bears by the end of the week.
Cool. I'm obviously not going to comment on that. It will just be
And as you walk around the town, Johanna does at one point climb on one of them. They're very accepting of that. They sort of nudge into her to try and get them to climb on, and she does, and she ends up sort of being given a lift around the town with them. Is there anywhere in particular you'd like to explore while you're doing this paper round?
No, Udric's quite passive in terms of like he just wants to learn naturally like where Johanna's going to go. He's not trying to lead or interfere in any way. Like it would just be this is the route, this is kind of the part of the town, and just like learn what's in this section.
Yeah. So she'll go over, and this will be interesting for all of the players to know what is in the town. So she literally goes everywhere. It's strange to think why there are other paper people when she goes pretty much all over the town. But you know where Solomon's mercenary company once stood, which is just off from the entrance to the main town. You can see that the town itself is almost like in a small valley. Or the entranceway to get to it is like there's a mountain on the right hand side which leads down to the beach. There's the big mountain range, which is obviously where Himdak and all of that live up, that pretty much encompasses the rest of the town. It's like in a cove or a bay, as it were. This is like a Merkstead Bay. There we go. That's a name that I could have used for world building purposes and chose not to until right this second. In terms of the town itself, it is on 3 different natural layers. In terms of like hills and land and mountain bits and all of that. The lowest area is where the docks and quay is located, along with the beach, which used to be a massive tourist attraction, Johanna tells you, until the incident with until the drowners started swarming around, although that was long before she was born, is what she hears from her parents quite a lot. The middle section is the largest section of the town, and that's where most of the homes and shops and everything are. So that's where you'll find the Rusty Pirate, Solomon's, the bakery, the other tavern inn that nobody likes to go to, or pub actually, because nobody sleeps there. It's where the infirmary is and all of that sort of stuff. And then the upper level is where the Pink Oak is, which is where you've been doing the gardening. It's where the Church of Balance is. It's where the graveyard is. It's also where the marketplace is held whenever there's events and functions for the town, like what they call festivals. There's a couple of buildings there where people live. It's not like the rich people live up here sort of thing. It's just a couple of houses that are dotted there. There's even a couple of shops up there, which nobody's explored up there yet in terms of the player characters. There is also a really old, very tall-looking tower that Johanna says apparently a wizard used to live there, although again, that was before my time. I don't know where they are now. Mum and Dad said it was even before their time. It's been abandoned since then, and nobody's ever been able to get in.
Interesting. Sounds like it's secure if no one could get in then.
Yeah, it's really odd though. As she walks up to it and posts a paper through the door, I still have to post a paper here every day, and I don't know why. Anyway, that's my paper round done now. I'm going to go pick up all of the children. Are you doing that with me as well, or are you going to go off and do what you want to do for the day?
Unless you've got a reason you don't want me around.
No. And again, she basically does an entire circle around the town again, and she picks up various different children from different places. She says to you that she's not picking Sunny up today. She is picking Sunny up today because Tally is at Lilla's bedside in a minute, so she is taking Sunny to school. She stops off at the herbalist store and she picks up a little orc boy named Oro, who is one of Sunny's best friends, and who you saw when Greta was about in the Sparrow meeting. So you don't have.
Yes, I'm aware.
Yeah, you don't have. I don't think you have confirmation that it's Bram's son.
I'm not sure that I was there for that bit.
Yeah, but yeah. Anyway, and then she takes them up to the school. As you walk past the garden, you can see your shrine that's been built with the stones and pebbles. It's had vines and things have grown around it and has sort of solidified it in place. And they've begun growing up the trees. And as you walk round to get to the school to drop the children off, you can see just stood in the garden area, there's a familiar elven woman with long green robes and pinkish grey hair that is plaited down to the centre of her back, holding a staff in her hand, who's looking around at everything with a light smile on her face. You may have bumped into this person before.
Potentially, it's an infirmary.
Sorry?
That's an infirmary?
That was it. Yeah, this is Sati that you met at the infirmary.
Sorry?
This is the elven woman is Sati, who you met at the infirmary. But she stood in the garden.
Right, I think it's about time that I let you get on with your day. So it's been nice spending the morning with you.
It was very nice. Thank you very much. If you ever want to help again, I'll be very glad of it. But yeah, and I'll give you some of my money when I get paid at the end of the week.
Don't be silly. That's your pocket money.
Oh, you're really.
I was just on a walk.
Okay, thank you. And she disappears into the school. You see Sister Abigail and Sister Stacey, and they say morning to you. And as they lead the children into the school,
I will kind of do an awkward hand up and then just about face and go to the garden.
Okay. And as you go to the garden, we're going to quickly switch over to what the others are doing at the minute. What would everybody be doing at the moment? You are currently making your way out of Goggle Springs, having retrieved some various items for personal use and for Rodney and all of this sort of stuff. So where is it you would like to go?
Hey, Rodney. Right?
Straight to Rodney?
I think so, yeah.
That was the plan.
Yeah.
You were told where Rodney lives. He lives in a house that is right next to the natural slope that leads up to the third area of the town where the garden and the marketplace and all that is. You overheard, I can't remember if it was Tally or Solomon, say that it's actually Solomon's old house that Rodney lives in. So you can begin making your way round that way. Now, this is going to sound like a very odd question for all of you. What way would you like to go? Would you like to circle around where the infirmary is, or would you like to go back towards where the mercenary company was, and then go past the general store and up that way? Sort of like a circular thing that you can do to get up there. We could just cut straight through the alleys and streets.
I mean, above table, if Mike was here, I would say we go via the infirmary and check in on Lucian.
Yeah.
But I guess we're just assuming that he's He's fine, and he'll be in touch.
Also, I think if we talked to Lucian, he would just be like, yeah, it's all good. We're just like, oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, some of us were at the mercenary company yesterday. I mean, it might not be the worst idea to just go past and... Like, we don't know that there haven't been Reaver sightings. You know, I think just a general kind of, like, quick patrol, if that's... Yeah. Yeah. Possibly that, maybe, unless we've got somewhere else. Yeah.
I would say that would be something that Udric would know, having gone into the shop and has been assisting. The shopkeeper would have mentioned that there's been no Reavers for the past couple of days. So that would be something that Udric knows that the rest of the party don't. But yes, you make your way past the mercenary company. Now, are you going to go up the sort of the pathway to get to have a look at how it's looking at the moment, or are you just going to walk past it just to have a quick gander? God, I've not used that word for a long time.
How much of a diversion would it be to go look? You know.
Well, so you're on the main road at the moment that goes past that would turn past and go up towards where the upper level of the town is. So you would need to go up the hill to get to the sort of raised area where the mercenary company stood.
I mean, we're doing a proper actual Reavers around check. It's worth it to do an actual check.
Agreed, rather. I don't think it's a bad idea that if we're talking to the woodworkers, if there's any issues, I think we're going to have to kind of represent Solomon. And also, you always love it when the bosses just turn up to work, don't you? You're like, hey, guys, how is it going?
Are we the boss?
I mean, we are representatives of the mercenary guild. I suppose it's a guild of 6. No, hold on. 7. I suppose if Solomon's 8. So yeah, I mean, it's also not a bad idea if they need anything else that we are looking at as we're. I think we're slightly jogging along. It's like as we're runners, see if they need anything or if there's any issues. Or I mean, hopefully they haven't like hit any traps that Solomon left behind. Although I do think it's very suspicious how quickly that building burnt down. That's insurance.
It's strange, given that his collections of things that he wouldn't have built it out of more than just wood.
You would have thought he might have enchanted it or something. Unless it's a distraction. That's the thing. That if the Reavers are thinking, oh good, we destroyed this. And as we've proven, there's a lot more interesting stuff out there.
Absolutely. Also, we can't go and discount the theory, if those two have been connected for a while, Solomon may have not kept his secrets that secret.
We should go check in on Mr. Solomon.
Yes, no, we'll go check. So yeah, I think we're just gonna hurry up the hill just to have a better look. And
you hurry.
Is it bad for your workers do your workers not like when the bosses come? Because mine always very much enjoyed it.
I mean, I'm what they call a freelancer, so it's always a bit strange. Like I used to drive when I was traveling. I used to drive cattle for a bit, and then that was very weird. Then the ranch hands would come and just like lean on the post, and I'm like, "Hello, cows," Horses, courses. Here are horses, courses.
You all make your way up towards where the mercenary company once stood, and as you sort of crest to the top, you can see Solomon is stood there. A little bit of time has passed since you were with Lilla and Tally, and he's obviously made his way up here for whatever reason. He's just stood at the top of the stairs that lead down into the basement area, and he's sort of surveying what is going on, the work that's being done. You can see there's a couple of wood workers and bricklayers and other construction-based workers who are still removing parts of the old rubble and foundations. You can see that some digging work has begun on setting new foundations and things in place. Bang smack in the center of where the dining room area was, that's been completely cleared, and there is a large table there, and you can see a woman and a couple of men are stood there. The woman looks very familiar to Elodie, as somebody that Lucian has spoken to in the past who he told you to forget about. And the other people are just a mixture of elves and humans who are just, I'm trying not to use dwarves because I've used too many, who are sort of stood there and are looking over blueprints of what the mercenary company looked like and what potential updates and upgrades and things that are there. Above the table, Josh is going to try and hold out for as long as possible for the reconstruction of the mercenary company so we can use the new Bastion system that's in the new Dungeon Master's Guide. So
it's going to take a period of quests.
It's going to take a number of days, so 5 sessions per day. Yeah, but
3 in-game days.
3 in-game days. Before you get your weapons.
But they've built an entire long haul in the time it's taken us to get our weapons. I'm like, yeah, we've got sauna now. It's great.
But Solomon seems to have a bit of a what's it called, a 20-yard stare, as he's just sort of looking around everything and just lets out a big sigh before heading downstairs. He doesn't spot any of you walking up the top.
Okay, so he's gone back in there.
Looks very sad.
Oh, he lost a lot. I suppose it's his home. It's tragedy, really. I mean, we lost. I mean, I didn't lose that much because I was mostly got the stuff that's on my back. But I assume I don't know him that well. I assume there's family mementos in there as well.
Maybe we should. I feel like Rodney is a little bit more pressing, but maybe we could come back. I know people were talking about going to the fighting pits. I actually was quite interested in having a little snoop around that library down in the cellar. So maybe after we've seen Rodney, we could pop by and see if there's anything we can take him to cheer him up a bit.
I think so. I almost feel like if we haven't excused Perry by now, this is where Perry's just like, I'm going to look at my books.
Well, you say that. Yeah. You left Goggle Springs and begun making your way towards Solomon's and just happened to turn around and Perry's just not there. Didn't say anything, just seemed to have just noped out and has disappeared.
Well, rude. I guess she's getting into science now, from like she said. But no.
Lots of reading to do.
Yeah. No, I think that's fair. I think sort of gesture to here is like, I'd happily come to fighting pits with you, but actually, I mean, there's a lot to do at a fighting pit. It's not just muscly people punching. They do music, they do snacks. You can get scarves of your favourite. You can wave it. But it is quite
big crowds
violent.
Of people there. Some of whom might be on the lookout for some of us.
Absolutely, and if you can get more information rather than the invitation's open if you want to come, and that we can actually. I was going to say we can go do sort of fighting pit style stuff somewhere quiet, because a lot of it's like, can you do a handstand?
I mean, yes.
Right, so it's things like that. I have seen where it's like, how long can you do a handstand? Someone managed about 20 minutes and then passed out because of all the blood flow.
Huh.
I'm waffling, but no.
No pressure if you want to come. Yeah. And you think you'll enjoy it. Sunny has a new favourite musician who apparently goes and performs there. But she's not allowed to go unsupervised, so has never been to see.
Oh.
The kids talk about it. If you want to come...
I suppose if the rest of you wanted to do some fighting, then I could sit with Sunny, I suppose.
I mean...
Only if you want to, though. If you'd rather sit in the library, there is... It's trying very hard to not be scary pushy right now. Like, you can sit in the library safely with Solomon and we will come find you afterwards.
or disguises. Always
Or
fun. Or wigs. I don't know if there's a costume shop, but I just love that idea. That we're just like, well, yeah, we put like a blonde wig on Elodie. No one will know.
Udric knows there's a costume shop. It's in the upper area of the town. He had to deliver a paper there earlier.
Udric knows a lot of things who we will shortly be joining as we just waffle more about a pit.
I think we're heading to Rodney's while we talk about this,
think-
with an idea of maybe heading back to see Solomon later. But...
Yes, I think acknowledged it and also sort of seen that we would be in the way. I'd say, things seem to be actually, to be honest, things are moving really quickly. It has been 1 day since the fire, so we're just like, oh yeah, no, it's progress. Anyway, so Rodney, as you said, I think, should we go find Udric or Lucian, or we probably wouldn't be a bad idea to just touch base and let people. Also, Lena, are we talking about Goggle Springs? Was that like, because I don't think she wants us nattering away. I think that she wants to keep our secrets, right?
But surely, I mean, us four now, it's a bit strange to not tell Udric and Lucian.
Well, we're all cohort, but I meant, like, are we telling Solomon?
No.
You're just like, right, no. I think he probably might know, but we don't tell. It's a good connection.
I feel like if Tali knew that Agnes was there, she would have mentioned it before giving us the key.
True. We've just been like, oh, by the way, there's a grandma. Right, let's go find.
I just had a picture in my head of you saying we don't say anything about Goggle Springs, and then there's Perry sort of walking around the town going, "Did you know there's an old lady in?"
She's really cool, and she had my diaries. Do you have my diary? You got to tell me if you got my journals.
So the plan is to go look for Udric first, then go see Rodney. Yeah.
No, Rodney.
Go
We've
to
tried
Rodney.
to go to Rodney all this time,
Yes,
Josh.
yeah.
Okay. I'm just trying to extend it out like the days.
No.
No, we don't need
No
to.
more extending.
No.
We want to go to the fighting pits.
Yes.
We've specifically told Udric that Rodney is one of our core stops.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're expecting Udric to find us at Rodney's.
Cool.
I'm not. I'm expecting Udric to get excited about building something and like just finish it. I imagine he's flowery dad. He'd be like, oh well, gotta move that. Oh, pots.
But like that, we are expecting Udric to start coming to find us at Rodney's. Whether that actually happens is up to Udric.
Yes.
We're given that Sean had not picked that up. Chances slim.
We're now going to just be like, maybe somebody does need to go get Udric.
So, as the three of you walk round towards where Rodney's house is, you open the gate, and as you walk up to knock on the door, you hear a loud roar and a crash inside as we're going to flick back to Udric.
Oh, no.
Oh my.
Didn't
Udric.
leave a bear there, did I?
Oh, no.
Possibly. There could be a third bear.
Oh.
Udric, you come, make your way towards where the garden is, and you can see this elven woman is stood in the garden, not in amongst the flower beds that you've worked on or anything, on the sort of thin patches of grass that sort of separate it all, sort of like the little walkways and things that you've used. She stood there, and she's just looking around at the tree, looking around at everything that's going on. She seems to be nodding her head at everything, and she's not picked up that you've approached. Or at least you don't think she's picked up that you've approached.
I'm not going to sneak up on her, so when I get to a respectful distance, I will just kind of... Good morning.
Good morning. I take it this is your work?
You may take that, yes.
It's very good. You have a natural talent for it. If I do say so, I would say you definitely have a bit of druid in you somewhere.
You are?
Well, you've got a...
I grew up on a farm, and I did spend some time in a forest.
Right. I mean, that makes a lot of sense, especially with that power that I sense coming from you. So you're looking to do some
my
more
aura
gardening?
particularly active.
Her aura?
What colour's her aura?
Her aura is green. It's like 50 shades of green.
Oh no, she's that kind of druid.
A dryad druid.
Dryad druid. Yes, she's sort of exuding magical power as well. You sort of pick that up from the aura as well. So she's got like the flare ups that everybody else has with their auras, but she's also got like a thin outline of green energy around her, which is a new trait that you've picked up, where you can sense if somebody is magical or not, and she is magical.
Look, we'll kind of look around and just check that no one else is like eavesdropping in. I have noticed that I've got some weird stuff has been happening, and the only thing I can think is that it's somehow I'm causing it.
Have you had instances where you've thought about something happening and an effect similar to that has happened, or the exact thing that you thought of has happened?
Udric thinks back to the point at which he'd wished that bastard chops would just wither up and die and accidentally cast a spell. Yes.
Yeah.
Something like that, yes.
How that sounds to me is that you've awoken some magical power within you and do not yet know how to control it.
I certainly would not. Never had any kind of training or inkling that might be a thing that I got.
It can be something that can be very dangerous, because untamed magic is not the safest of things, especially when it comes to the nature variety. But then I'm a bit biased when it comes to nature, so
I mean,
the other elements are probably really powerful as well when they're wild and chaotic. But
I mean, is this something that you're versed in?
She leans down, and you watch as she sort of waves her hand over a piece of dirt which didn't have any flowers or anything coming out, and a flower that looks. She's in between the what would be considered the fire garden, so a lot of red flowers, and the water garden, so a lot of more bluey flowers. And she just waves a hand over an empty patch of dirt in the fire garden, and you watch as a red flower sprouts out and sort of blooms. I would say I'm a little bit versed in it, yes.
I think Udric's going to kind of kneel down in the kind of whichever garden section he's in, and will concentrate on trying to do the same thing.
Now, hang on a minute, wait, and she walks over to you, and she kneels down. She's on the same little bit of path with you, and she leans down next to you. She just places her hand on, like, over yours, but not on it. She's, are you okay if I touch?
Sure, whatever's going to help me learn.
And she sort of interlocks her fingers with yours, and then she sort of rubs her hands back and pushes your hands together. And she's like, now, does that feel like it's being forced at all?
Forced in what manner?
Your hands are being forced to be closed because I'm squeezing your hand shut. Is that how that feels to you?
Oh, yeah, yeah, that's what you're doing. I can feel that.
That's a physical restraint. What you are doing to yourself at the moment is almost like a mental restraint. You are trying to force this magic out of you, but when it comes to people like us who channel nature magic, it needs to be more free-flowing. It needs to be more from the mind and less forced out. You just need to breathe and relax, and then it will come to you more naturally.
Right.
And now, as she lets go, now breathe.
I don't mean to be indelicate, but how do I make sure I don't piss myself if I'm going to let go?
You can still have very good bladder control while you're keeping your mind free. It does take a little bit of practice sometimes, though. It has happened in the past, but then that's nature for you.
Okay.
And she chuckles at that. You definitely get a hint of sarcasm from her for that. you can roll, and you don't need to roll anything because you're a druid. I'd say for the moment, You
I'm
can
happy to kind of roll something to determine the effectiveness, like how wild it is, maybe.
roll a wisdom saving throw then, please.
Oh shit. I should be good at this. 15.
Cool. Now roll me a Constitution saving throw to see if you piss yourself. I'm joking. Don't do that.
No, I'm doing it. You must now.
All magic users are constantly wetting themselves. It's just...
Constitution.
That's not canon. That's not canon.
This went from a potentially flirty scene to I might piss myself.
It was a 2 on the dice.
Oh,
my God.
no! Oh no! I had too much tea earlier. Oh dear.
The 4.
That's gone.
Just the lack of game.
I think we're getting a veto on W functions.
Yeah, no, we're getting a veto on it. No, it's fine. You feel the naturalness of the. It's the first time that you felt this, and it feels like a warm sensation that's bubbling up. Tom, stop it! Stop
Concerning.
You just different way, considering what we've been talking about.
I know.
No warm feelings, no bubbling.
Comfortable.
There is a
Leaving.
sensation that's
Oh god. Oh.
there is a sensation building up within your chest, and it's not something that you felt before. You've had maybe like a brief instance of it when you've cast the spells that you've cast before, but now it feels like it's regular and flowing. Stop it, Tom. And this warmth flows down your arm, and then you watch as this energy begins to form in your hands, and a flower begins to grow out of the ground. We'll say that you've mastered Druidcraft at this point. Being able to do it at will.
As soon as I find who Will is, Druidcraft.
Yeah. Well, that's definitely a good start. I could give you some more lessons if you like.
That would be appreciated. Certainly don't want to be a loose cannon.
Okay. And she actually sits and helps you with the gardening. She chooses to do this teaching through helping you move plants around and showing you where you can weave magic in and out, and where your actual hands would be better use rather than using magic. And a couple of hours go past. I would ask you to roll me another wisdom saving throw, please.
Right, we'll do this. I will roll the kind dice and the wrong dice. Nope. Wisdom save, that's only a 12 this time.
12. So you get a better handle on the type of magic that you can cast. It's still sporadic in nature, that you don't quite have the control over it that you would like you do with the Druidcraft. So you're going to need a couple more lessons, either with Sati or on your own practicing. But it's at this point, it's been a couple of hours, it's getting close to lunchtime. You hear a loud roar and a crashing noise come from one of the houses on one of the lower levels.
I mean, I know exactly what postcode it is now, Josh. So
yeah, yes.
Oh.
So yeah.
Excuse me. I happen to be part of the mercenary company, so I should probably, go and investigate that if you don't mind.
No, that's fine. By all means. I believe our lesson for today is concluded. I will do a little bit more tidying up here, and I will see you again soon. I reckon.
Feel free to come with if you want. I'm sure your help would be appreciated too.
Oh no, I'm fine. I'd rather not get involved. Thank you.
Reasonable. All right. Well, if you'll excuse me, and it was lovely seeing you. just turns around and strides off.
Okay. And you walk off, stride off, and just as you sort of get round the corner to where the entranceway to Rodney's house is, you can see Bram, Elodie, and Hera just about to knock on the door.
So the scream had happened. We were about to knock. Scream happened. Udric's now turned up.
Yep.
So
It's very quick.
Very quick. Oh, right.
Rodney? Rodney!
Eldrick,
good to see you, Udric.
Morning.
Rodney, we're coming in. Try the door.
Okay. You can open the door. It opens out. Opens. You can walk in if you'd like to. You hear another roar and a crash come from inside.
Does it sound like Rodney roaring?
does this sound like the undeadness disease has taken over him?
You mean
It sounds.
Rodney?
It sounds like Rodney. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, let's go.
We'll run
Let's go.
upstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, join the rest.
Yeah. You run in.
By
and-
bears.
Yeah. You taking the bears in as well? Yeah.
Always.
Always. Yeah.
Can't leave the bears.
How big is this house?
Big enough for the
Is
bears.
it
Josh.
Ogre?
Okay.
Yeah. As you walk in and make your way up the stairs towards where Rodney's room is, or the upstairs area where Rodney's room might be, I need everybody to make me a dexterity saving throw, please.
Oh no.
Oh, don't trust you anymore. What do I-
Including the bears.
Ah. They're now big enough that they get affected by things, are they?
Yes.
Right.
25.
Wow.
Nat 20 for 19.
Wow.
8.
Oh.
Udric got an 11.
Oh.
One bear got a 10. One bear got a 12. I haven't added my modifier. That was Dex, though, right?
Yes.
I've only got a +1, and I don't know what stat you want to use for bears.
Bears can use. If you got the bear stats up,
I am making my way via one of my many, many tabs.
I was going to say, Sean, you have so many tabs.
brown. They can use the brown bear stats. I think the brown
Brown
bear
bear
is the
stats.
weakest of the bears.
I mean,
Makes
I,
sense.
genuinely, I've just clicked on the first tab that said monsters, and it happens to already be searched on bears. So brown bear, yeah?
Yeah, brown bear.
Bam bam.
Brilliant. Right, so anybody who rolled...
Ooh, new brown bear or old brown bear, because there is a difference.
let's go with new brown bear.
Ooh.
Because they're babies.
That means they've got the same dexterity as me, so instead of 10, 11, 12, we rolled 11, 12, and 13.
Oh.
Awesome. Anybody who rolled over a 12 or over, will take half of this damage. Anybody
Oh,
who
Jesus.
rolled under that will take full damage.
One of my bears.
That's
So,
that. I
uh,
feel like can I take extra damage to go protection bag? Because I feel like I'm at the front of getting the most hit.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I will allow that. So everybody who passed will take 7 halved to 3. Anybody who failed will take the full 7. For Hero, you'll take 14 because you're taking 2 lots.
They can take it if you didn't want to do that. Nice,
That's
okay.
half my health, but hey, I do not care.
As you hear this roar and you watch as almost in slow motion, the door to the bedroom cracks and breaks as a bed comes flying through the door. Those of you who rolled high enough are able to duck down so it doesn't hit you. But for Hera and one of the bears, the bed smashes into you and causes you to go tumbling down the stairs. And you can just see sort of getting up and looking into the room, stood in the room, sort of hunched over on one leg, kneeling down on one leg, kneeling down on his bad leg. His arm that he used to throw the bed, it seems to have grown bigger and has got like black veins and the skin's gone grey going up. And as you look at Rodney, you can see that part of his face, like this, whatever this is, has gone up his face, and half of his face is necrotic and undead, and the other half is crying tears out as he's trying to resist it.
Oh, Rodney! We'll kind of try and scooch past everyone and run over to him with the. We've got power cells for you.
LED.
We found them in Goggle Springs.
Careful.
Get away, Marcelo! When he goes to swing his fist out, he's going to make an attack roll against you.
Sure.
I think I'm close. I'm going to do my protection thing.
You can. This will be with disadvantage, yeah?
So re-roll with, disadvantage, yeah. Actually, yeah, so it's just going to be...
Yeah,
so
just
it'll be like you
disadvantage.
roll... Yeah, because you haven't actually hit. But...
Oh, because it's the new protection, isn't it? So I'd
Yes.
roll, if I hit, I then roll again with disadvantage.
Disadvantage,
Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah.
So I rolled to start off with. So that is going to be a 15 to hit.
Misses.
Misses. So combination of Bram sort of pushing you out of the way of the shield. You feel the force of this arm smack into you. This arm is massive compared to what Rodney actually is. It looks like he is mutating as well as turning undead. But there's almost like two voices that are coming out of him at the moment. One is a very monotone, sort of like deadpan, no emotion in it voice, and then the other one is the one that's screaming and shouting for you to get away from him.
I'm so sorry to do this to you. She's gonna bite her thumb, like the anime style bite thumb, to draw a little bit of blood, and I'm gonna draw a sigil in the air. Can you make a strength saving throw, please?
You can indeed.
Can I give advantage? Because I almost want to say I've started grappling him a little bit of that sort of thing of like going, calm, Rodney, we're here to help.
If you want to try and grapple him before that happens, then you certainly can.
Again, not take it, working with LED to be like, I'm being a I'm the distraction. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you can give help to give disadvantage, can't you? So if you can't, you can now. So I will do the strength saving throw with disadvantage. Probably a good thing because this is a magical effect, isn't it?
It's one of my blood curses.
Oh, no, it's not magical. It's fine then.
It's perfectly natural.
It's not a
spell.
No, not a spell.
So with that, you rolled a total of, hang on, what's his plus again? You rolled a 6 in total.
Whew,
Beautiful.
okay. Yes. So she draws a sigil in the air with blood, and it kind of transfers into sort of red, sparkly dust that kind of gets thrown at him. He's not fully restrained, but his speed is 0. He cannot take reactions.
Mm-hmm.
So he can still kind of move a bit.
Yeah.
But he can't chase us.
Yeah, so he's not going to chase after you, and his big arm smashes into the floor, and you watch as the floor sort of crumples underneath his fist, and the house shakes from it, and he is trying to grab at his bad arm with his good arm, but he can't quite get round where his chest has been beginning to extend outwards, and he's just having trouble with it. And you can see parts of his flesh are beginning to tear, and he's
Where do they need to go? What can we do?
Okay. So it's in his leg.
Yes.
Also, looking back to Udric, and hopefully Hero's coming up the stairs.
I'm just picking myself up moving.
Yeah.
Udric, can you make me a wisdom saving throw with disadvantage, please?
Oh, no. Yeah, I can do.
The vibes in this room.
With disadvantage, which save was that?
Wisdom.
Wisdom.
Yeah.
With disadvantage, that is still a dirty 20.
Oh,
Please.
okay. For the briefest moments, you watch as everything is transpiring around you. This Rodney swinging out at Elodie, and you begin to see part of Rodney's head near his forehead part begin to split open on the undead side, and you watch as a very small horn begins to protrude out, and that instantly sends a flashback for you. You're on the battlefield during the Rising in the abandoned town, and just a memory of your best friend Luca being picked up by a giant undead ogre type creature, and then just basically being crushed and killed by it. Rodney seems to be turning into one of these.
Rodney, do you get the sense that your consciousness is keeping this at bay, or might it help if we were to put the monster to sleep, if it was to say so?
I can't hold it. Kill me, please. I don't want to hurt my friends.
We're not going to let that happen, Rodney. Healing. Would healing help to the others? Because
this would be a history check from Udric.
History.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Ugh. Put that dice away. Only a 4.
Unfortunately, you don't know if healing magic's going to help in this situation.
Being asked to, I'm going to attempt it. So I'm still learning. We'll kind of put a hand on each of Rodney's shoulders, and I'm going to try a level 1 Cure Wounds.
Okay, roll me that healing, please.
I shall do indeed. 9 points of healing.
Okay, 9. As you cast Cure Wounds, putting your hands on both of his shoulders, you watch as he jerks and reacts to it and lets out both a blood-curdling cry, but also an angry roar at the same time. And as you remove your hands, you can see that where your right hand was on his left shoulder, which was his undead side, you can see that any wounds and bits that he'd gained through his skin beginning to tear had begun knitting itself back together. But on the other side, where you put your hand on his necrotic side, your handprint is left there as you've burnt into him. Basically, you've healed him for 4 and then damaged him for 4. That then sends this memory in your brain that, during the Rising, healing magic was used as a weapon against the undead.
Right.
Final Fantasy rules then. Okay.
Yeah. Yes, Hira.
I have a question. So, just kind of looking at him tactically, I want to know if I can work out how many hit points he has, because I know that with a sleep spell, it'll only do it to a certain maximum of points. They have to be under that whatever you roll to go and get that. That's buffeted. So I'm just trying to see, based on my knowledge of combat and that, how much do I have to hurt him in order for us to be able to put him to sleep gently?
I'm going to ask you to roll me your choice, because it's you, of history or nature. History or medicine. History, nature, or medicine.
Which one am I good at? Medicine, actually.
Okay.
That dice betrayed me. This dice has not betrayed me. That is a 22.
So this reminds you of something that you've seen within the Imperium. Something that's quite disgusting and, something you'd rather not have to think of. But when Mortigan would perform his experiments, one of the experiments that he would perform was figuring out different ways to mutate people, bend people to his will, and to change them. And he called it upgrading people, or trying to help evolve people through mutations that would amplify their natural abilities, like with a fiend fallen or a tiefling, making them more devilish or demonish. With orcs, it would be amplifying their natural strength and all of this sort of stuff. And from that role, in game statistics wise, Rodney currently has 2 different health pools. One is Rodney alive, which is dwindling fast, and one is this undead ogre. Think of it like Bruce Banner and the Hulk. It's trying to take over him. So if he fully succumbs to it, not only are you going to lose him, but he's going to be an incredibly powerful creature in a very tiny space.
Can I ask a very quick, aura-wise, do I get a sense of this as well? Like, do I see when I use the Cure Wounds, does living Rodney get stronger and the other get weaker?
You can see that Rodney's aura is fading rapidly. Your healing magic does cause it to flare out a little bit more. his undead side does not have an aura at all. It's not like, however, but it's not like Perry's aura, where Perry doesn't have an aura. Perry, now that you've seen an undead, now that you're registering that you have the ability to see auras, you realise now that Perry's isn't the fact that Perry doesn't have one. It's more that Perry has a void around them rather than having an aura. Whereas this thing just has nothing. Or this half of Rodney has nothing.
Can I see now that he's? I know he's still kind of struggling, but now he's a bit stiller. Can I see his leg mechanism where the power cells would go in?
So you can. It is on the leg that he's leaning on. So it's on the half of the body that is becoming more necrotic. You can see that his leg has bulked out and is growing larger. That hole is beginning to sort of seal up. So if you're going to do something, you're going to need to do it pretty sharpish.
Okay. So I think whilst Udric is just to be clear, I powered up the blood curse, so we've got a minute on it instead of just 6 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
But you can see Elodie's hand is bleeding quite severely. And I would like to sort of gently approach him whilst Udric is doing his healing. Also try and grab his alive hand, and I'm going to cast guidance on him. So if mechanically he has Constitution saving throws to make, he would get guidance on that.
This is the only reason he is alive, because I have been rolling Constitution saving throws for him for a few sessions now. Great. And he's been able to resist it.
Great. And then I would like to try. Does it look like if I try and approach the leg, the undead side is a bit too swipey still? Or does it look like it's held still enough?
You hold his hand and you cast the guidance on him, and his body sort of radiates with this guiding aura. He does pass his Constitution saving throw, which he would have to roll in a little bit anyway. I thought I'd get that out of the way now. And he just grabs your hand really tightly, not to the point where he's squeezing it and like hurting you, but there's an intensity in the one eye that he has got, and there's anger and hatred in the other one. And Miss Elodie, please just
stay with us.
end it.
Stay with us. You've got this. All right? You've got this. I think, actually, now that he's grabbed her hand super tight, Elodie is going to reach down into her satchel to pull out one of the power cells. And it's like her hand just raises up. This would have to happen 6 seconds after I cast guidance. It's like her hand continues to rise, but it's a spectral hand. It looks like a bird talon kind of rises up, still holding the thing. And I'm going to cast Mage Hand to take the power cell to plug it into the leg.
Yeah, you take it and you begin to take it to plug it into the leg. Unfortunately, you need to be able to see where you're putting it. It's not going to be a case of dropping it in and hoping for the best.
Okay,
It needs to be inserted into somewhere particular, but it's hovering around there while he's holding onto your hand. I can see that Hera wants to say something.
Right, this is a potentially stupid question. He's decent answer might help. If guidance helps Rodney, would a hex against Constitution on the undead side?
Yes, they're technically two different entities.
And then make it easier to kind of open that up and slide it in?
Yeah, you could definitely do that. Want to cast Hex?
If another set of seconds has passed, Udric will move the hand away from the undead side and just plough another Cure Wounds just into Rodney as well.
Yeah, okay. Do me another Cure Wound save. Do me the Hex save. Bram, what are you doing while this is happening?
I think I've if it's okay, if I roll grapple and I'm kind of keeping, and I know Hera also took a wound. The Bram's ready to like step in and take a blow for the two or three different things that are going on, and just is there going, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. These are geniuses. We're going to get you through. Yeah, good man.
Rob, can you help move his leg so I can see it a bit better?
I could trip him. Do you think that's going to help? If we could get him on his side.
Get him on his. Yeah, you could try getting him on his stomach. That might help.
Sorry about this. As I try and kick the leg out of him.
Kick it. Jeez.
How else are you going to trip someone?
He's already sort of.
Yeah, no, I
more
don't.
restrained.
Yeah,
You could just
I pull him down towards me. Then I'm not kicking a man in his bad leg. But, yeah. So this is 22 to hit.
Mm-hmm.
I am now using one of my superiority die. Can he make a? I'm not going to roll damage if that's okay, Josh. Just to be safe, it's like a non. So. What I'm going to do is I'm going to... so I've hit him for 22. I'm kind of like pulling him towards... Actually, I'll tell you what. I'll make this the grapple, if that's okay, rather than a trip. Where I've now... So I roll a D8. So I can add... Oh, I can add 4 to my athletics.
Nice.
To grapple Rodders. So he needs to beat... Oh, I'm glad I did it. 14.
He rolled an 18.
Right. Okay.
So you're not able to trip him or grapple him to the ground at this moment. You can see that doing that is going to help out massively, because that will allow Elodie to let go of his hand and get to his leg. In order to, without the threat of being attacked. As this happens, the arm, the sort of undead arm, does swing around and is going to go for an attack against Elodie, because Elodie is currently supporting one of the other sides. So,
can I use my reaction? Or
yes, you can use your reaction.
Okay, so roll to see if it hits.
Yep. Udric. While I'm doing this, could you roll me 2 attack rolls for your bears, please?
Bears, no.
Bears? What are they doing attacking? Did the hex land? We didn't quite cover if the hex landed.
The hex is auto. There is save against my hex.
Yeah, the hex lands, and you can see that the undead half is cursed.
Also, just quickly, I upcast Cure Wounds, and I got a 19.
Awesome. 19. You watch as the living parts of Rodney's body begins to fight against the necrotic parts. It pushes past where his heart is, and you can see that his body is beginning to heal. But as soon as that healing magic leaves, the necrotic energy starts to push back again.
Bear attacks. Let me know if they're bites or claws. But one of them got. Actually, that's a point. Brown bears actually have multi-attack. So do you want 2 attacks each?
No, just 1 attack each, please.
Just 1 attack each. Okay, well, depending on whether they're biting or clawing, one of them is a 19, the other one's a natural 1, so just 6.
Okay, so one of them misses, but the other one runs over, and as that arm swings out to try and hit Elodie, and it doesn't quite hit Elodie because the bear grabs it in its jaw, and it pushes the arm back and slams it to the ground, and then just sits on it.
Which bear is it?
Kissifer. Thank you, Kissifer.
Yeah. Good job, Kissifer.
So sorry, friend.
Rookspin, get the other arm.
And sort of moves around and doesn't go for the other arm because that's the sort of the good arms, but instead climbs up onto Rodney's back as he's now able to be pushed onto the floor by Bram. He gets up onto the back and just sits right on the top of his shoulder blades. And you just watch as listen as breath leaves Rodney's lungs as he's sort of winded from it. But he's just, finish me, I don't want to hurt any of you.
You're not going to. We don't leave anyone behind. You're part of the team.
You're going to be fine.
I'll sort of divine smite just in case.
I think that's terrifying. And I've got this, and I'm looking, and Hera's just got like blonde, and they're like,
you'll be fine one way or another.
Yeah, this ends today.
Carefully extract my hand from his good hand, and continuing to. I think she's still using the mage hand to do the surgery. But just moving so she can see a little better how it's going to slot in.
You move along. Do you have any sharp implements on you?
Probably. I've got a crossbow bolt.
Horrible, but would work.
I technically have a rapier. I don't think we've ever discussed that. I think it just came with the the starter kit.
I'm just going to pass you a dagger. I have so many.
Yeah,
You're
I'm
gonna
going to
need
use a rapier.
You're going to need to cut into his flesh to be able to get your hand into where this area is, because it's begun to sort of heal over a lot.
Sure. Okay. In that case, we'll take the dagger. Anyone got a little burning thing that they can do just to cleanse it?
I don't know if this is how this works, but I'd like to say for this, Ram's hand, I cast Sacred Flame.
Oh, I'll allow that. That's cool use of it.
Yeah. And I think for Hera, like, watches as Hawthorne comes and just goes, and just fire.
Just lick a dagger.
Yeah, no, that's it. She just runs.
She licks the dagger and then she turns back to you, Bram, and she goes, "You better not let him die. I like the sweets that he makes. I like all the cakes and the lemons and things. So don't let him die, otherwise you're going to pay for it."
Whatever you say, boss.
She doesn't disappear. She stays and watches this entire thing.
Oh yeah, no. Here we chuffing well go.
Okay, you've got this. I'm gonna cast guidance on myself. Mage hand still holding the power cell. I'm gonna go in for a cut with the dagger.
Yep. So you don't need to roll. Actually, no. I will roll. You have an attack. I will have you roll an attack to see if you're able to pierce the skin.
Okay, sure.
Because of the hex?
Well, no, because the hex affects the creature, not the person attacking it. But you will get the guidance. If there's any rolls that the creature needs to make, unless hex has changed in the new rules, and you'll use
I'm
that
just trying to be cheeky.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we're being ever so cheeky.
I would like to be cheeky. There are rolls that I am making that are affected by the hex. You don't have to worry about that.
Sorry, I spaced out because I was trying to figure what my actual modifier would be. Is this with advantage or not?
No, not with that. It's
No,
just a straight roll.
Okay. 19.
19. You're able to cut along and split the skin open, and you can see inside where there are almost like necrotic veins that have begun sort of growing and are trying to reknit the muscles and everything together around the bone. But you can see attached to the bone, there is almost like this capsule that is currently open, and it's got a bunch of almost like metal style wires that wrap around the bone and also act like veins and go off into the leg. You can see that there's like little, what should be lights that light up around it, because there's no power source in there at the moment. It's not functioning in the minute. But yeah, you can see where you can easily insert this battery basically into.
It's just empty because the battery's been taken out. It's not like there's a dead battery in there.
There's no battery in there at all.
So, sorry, did he take it out when because it broke during the...
Yes. Yeah. He's taking it out himself, yeah.
Right, okay. Cool. We need to get him a charging port. We need to go back to Goggle Springs and get these things charged.
Yeah.
Some lithium batteries, yeah.
Yeah.
So she'll use the mage hand to slot it into place, whilst also sort of holding the flesh back with her hands.
Yeah, it's a bit gross. As you slot the battery in and you close the seal over it, you watch as the little contraption inside the leg begins to light up, and the wires themselves begin to light up, and you can see, at least from the inside, the inside of Rodney's leg begin to light up. You can't see any. This has no visual effect on the outside, but you just watch and listen as the undead side, the side that's becoming like a undead ogre, begins to roar in pain, and you watch as steam begins to come off of it. And at that point, we're going to take a quick break. We are going to be back in a moment after we've had this short rest, so please do retune in. I need to get better at doing that. But yeah, we'll see you in a bit. Bye. Welcome back, everybody. We have had our short rest, and we are going to dive straight back into the action. In the first half, our group took their time to get to Rodney, not through any fault of my own whatsoever as the dungeon master. I will not take any arguments on that. And
Three of us are DMs. Next time, Josh, your character is getting stones in their shoes.
You want to do something, Josh? Yeah, sure. Do you want to have conversations with people first? No?
I'm just going to sit there and be quiet.
Yeah, tell me what will make you cry, Josh. Who do you care? What an NPC you have a connection with?
Anyway, yes, Rodney is currently being taken over by the undead part of himself that has been restrained, restricted, sort of held at bay by a magical device in his leg through various actions from the party hindering his other half from hulking out, essentially. Elodie has been able to insert one of these special batteries into the compartment in Rodney's leg and has begun to see the effects of it healing. During this time, Udric has cast numerous healing spells, which has helped Rodney fight off becoming fully necrotic, and Hera has performed magic that has hindered the other side from taking over. And Bram has smacked things away with his shield and basically helped the bears hold it down, hold this creature down. And as we come back into it, the undead side of Rodney begins to roar and shake, and it's almost like a muscle spasm as it's trying to roll around, and steam begins to pour off of it. For Elodie, from where you're currently positioned at Rodney's sort of, there's no nice way to say this, but as you're positioned at Rodney's back end, you watch as the leg begins to shrink down and the coloration comes back to him, although around where you've cut and the gaping hole that is in his leg normally anyway, the necroticness stays there almost like a scar, but it begins to sort of work its way up. And from Udric's side, where you've been casting the healing magic on the good shoulder, you watch as that side begins to fight back against it as well. And basically Rodney is going to heal from this, not without a few scars though. As I said, he's got the necrotic energy or the necrotic scar on his leg, but he'll
pure nature magic pumped into one shoulder as well.
Yeah, so he's got like a bit of a green. So that's me fiddling with the music. He's got a bit of a green sort of swirl going on one of his shoulders from where he's been repeatedly pumped full of magic. But the eye on the side of the face where it had necrotized, that is now permanently black. He's got a scar on his head with a small horn poking out, and a few black veins on his face that seem to stick around.
But the worst of it is...
The worst of it's gone. He is, for all intents and purposes, with Udric's ability to see auras, he is fully healed.
Right.
There's no...
Including the wounds that I have. Obviously, they've scarred, but he's not like bleeding out from the leg where I cut him. Right.
It's not bleeding out from the leg or anything. And when you cut into the leg when he was undead, no blood came out of it at all.
Yay.
He's just breathing heavily.
Yeah.
We should try and get you to the infirmary. Sorry, Udric, go ahead.
No, so I was just talking to the bears.
All right. Yeah. No. All right. Eddie's right. Hera, do you want to give me a hand to try and get him?
Yeah.
Yeah. You just. I'm like. Good. Here, you're right, because you got like smacked down the stairs. You're right.
I'm in pain. I'll deal with it.
Do you want sort of like light starts crackling? Would that help if I?
Would it make you feel better?
Oh, just like yes, it would. So you get 6 points of magical Hawthorn healing powers. Yeah. Hawthorn powers, HP.
So for you, Hera, because you can kind of see Hawthorne. Hawthorne appears to you more of a spirit than a physical wolf, but you just watch as she climbs up you, sits on your head. You can't feel it; it's completely weightless. But the tail just swoops down over your face and sort of rubs across your nose as the healing magic is cast on you. Again, you don't feel any of it except for the healing energy going into you.
You know what? I have a kid with a tail. I am absolutely used to this. I'm just going to shoulder Rodney, get him to his gently, and get him to his bed.
That hurts.
Somewhere to sit down. Yeah, but you're alive.
We think we can get him outside. We can maybe get a cart from the town to help take him to the infirmary so he can rest up with people watching over him.
No, I don't want to go to the infirmary. I'll be fine. You've put one of those things in my leg. I'll be.
No.
Rodney,
I'll
you are
be
not
right.
staying here on your own.
We can go get the doctor. We need someone needs to look at Rodney. It's the right thing to. It's not weakness to ask for help. You know that. Come on.
Oh, I'm all right. I just now that there's nothing the doctor can do for me now. I'm all right. I just want to say, sorry.
What about Solomon? He's the one that did that in the first place, isn't he?
You could take me to. I'd like to see Mr. Solomon. Yeah.
Right. Okay. We'll take you to. For part of Crises, here is miming putting on a backpack, which is a tall orcish man, and like, okay, yeah, no, right, yeah, no, we'll take you. Solomon's back where the mercenary company is. We'll get you there. When's the last time you ate?
I can't remember.
Right.
Probably
okay.
not till yet. I could do with some lemon cheesecake though.
We'll get you.
There's some in the fridge downstairs.
We will go get. Bram will like peel off to go. Also, a little bit like looking at a fellow cook's like kitchen. You're like, oh, this is nice.
It's very.
What have you got?
What have you got in here? It's very neat and tidy.
Yeah.
You can see that there's a lot of on one of the on what would be his small little dining table, which sits 4 people. You know that he lives on his own. But it sits 4 people. That's probably the messiest part of the kitchen, but the mess is just bits of paper that are sort of all over the place on this table, and it's got writing on it, which is probably his handwriting, and he's writing. It's like recipes that he's written down for different things, and he's got 2 bits of paper that instantly stand out to you. One's got Elodie's name on it, and one's got Perry's name on it, and it says Elodie's lemon cheesecake and Perry's lemon cheesecake on it. And if you were to stop and look at it, you can compare the differences in the ingredients and how one has got a shit ton of sugar on it and one hasn't.
I think using my I'm going to say my passive investigation just to be enough to be like, all right, okay. Also, because I kind of still want Perry to think I'm cool, and then just be like, no, she would be really angry if I make Rodney's cheesecake, but close. I think the rest of you just hear quietly like 8 cups of sugar. Yes, I think you've established there's a version of not saran wrap, but there's travel wrap.
There's travel wrap you can wrap it in, yeah.
I think actually if it's a whole cheesecake thing, where I think when the others come out, I've just got a cake tin under my arm. It's
Oh, you got the good cake tin. That's good. Thank you. That's that. The other ones are a bit loose, and sometimes if you hold the actual lid part, the bottom bit falls out. But you've got the good one, so good job, Bram.
Thanks,
Mr. Bram. Sorry, he calls everybody Mr. or Miss.
Oh no, you can. No, Rodney, it's no problem. Yeah, no, let's said over the shoulder of Hera. No, let's get you to Solomon, and we can get you. It's good to see you. We should have come earlier, but we did what we could. It's good to see you.
Well, thank you for all of the help that you all, and he says this to all of you. Thank you for the help that you all gave me. I was sure that I was done for. That hasn't happened to me in a long time. Mr. Solomon was the one that had to help me before.
It must have been scary. I'm sorry.
It was very scary. I was not so much afraid of what was happening to me, I was more afraid of what I was going to do to other people. I've accepted that eventually this thing's going to claim me. I just don't want to be around other people when it happens. But Mr. Solomon is a very, very persuasive man and doesn't want me just going off into the mountains on my own.
Rodney, I can promise you that if and when it does take you, you will not hurt other people. I will not let you. So until that time comes, let these good people keep helping you stave it off.
I will, Miss Hera, thank you. And you're a good person as well. You helped, I think.
Just pick him up and just carry on walking.
I mean, you're definitely helping now. You're sort of dragging him along.
Just quickly as we're going, just to check in with Udric. No, in just like, you're right. Is that...
Me? Yeah, why?
Oh, I know that you served. We talked about the Rising before. I know that was whatever the fantasy version of triggering is. That I'm trying to think of the words, but Bram is like. I think let's go.
Triggers exist here.
Elodie
has a gun.
As you hold up, I don't know if it's terminology that we actually now I suppose it's that let's say it is that people that's enough. I know that's probably quite triggering to have to see that again.
Yeah, I can't remember if I told you, but my friend almost says Luca, but decides not to because obviously knows that Bram has a tie.
Yeah.
My friend was actually killed by a necrotic ogre.
Oh,
right in front of me.
Well, I know it doesn't count for much, but I'm sorry. That's incredibly unpleasant.
Everybody has scars from the war, our company included. But none of us quite came back ourselves, I think.
No, but I feel I'm probably preaching to the converted, but you shouldn't keep things bottled up like that. It's not necessary to me, but it is always good to talk. And to your credit, it's good to have something else, like the garden. It's always nice to see something else you can focus on. But I'm willing to listen if you need to talk.
Thank you very much, Brown. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Josh, I assume it's a fully stocked fridge. Would he might have tried to make a berry cheesecake?
He was one of the things that you would have noticed on the table was that he was experimenting with other types of cheesecakes, what types of things he could make to bring to more to Elodie and Perry than anyone else. Those are the two people that have taken the most sort of interest in the sort of food that he makes. You can see that there's also a note on breakfast wraps as well. And you can see that he's got a little note down underneath as the type of breakfast wraps that Udric likes, and how to make it and stuff. So he seems to have a little notes on foods on most people, but a lot of the information that he has is based on what Perry and Elodie have said to him about cheesecake. Really,
my point.
There's nearly 2 pages on cake suggested by Sunny.
Fun. The point I was trying to make is Bram would want to have found, let's say it's berries, to basically thank the bears for, just to have with Udric's permission, to kind of feed the bears, like a treat. To,
the bears.
The bears. Again, canonically, I don't know which one I went. I ran for the doctor with one of the bears. So Bram, it feels like he's kind of building a relationship with these... So I think having had that conversation with Udric, and then in the background you see Bram's just feeding berries to the bears.
They take the berries off of you and they chomp on them nicely. I mean, you've noticed that the bears are slightly bigger than what they were the other day as well, but
wow,
doesn't seem to be anything that's really affecting. They might push a few of the chairs out of the way when they try to walk past because their butts are a bit bigger than what they were before, but other than that, they're the same bears. They're not acting aggressively towards anybody or anything.
They're shooting up, those little guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, much bigger than they should be. I've noticed it.
How big do you think they're going to grow? I mean, because their parents,
You saw Daddy Bear.
I saw the daddy. Again, I feel like we can lecture you. If an animal gets too big, that's especially we monitor, we take care of them, but good luck to the Reavers. They try and take them. To be honest, if they get as big as that, as their dad. Worrying, just quite like always like the humor's gone out for Bram a little bit. Like, all right. Also, because what happened to the dad was horrific, and yeah, it's a bit like, for example, beavers. Beavers need to keep chewing because if they don't, their teeth just grow and grow and grow, and it just causes
The same with rabbits.
Yeah, so we need to. Wow, just so many NPCs that we love and we need to care for.
Is there like a cart outside? Rodney's the kind of guy that carries lots of stuff all the time. Does he have a cart?
He has a cart outside, yeah. It's one of those ones that instead of having like a donkey, goat, horse or whatever to pull it, it's one of those ones that's light enough for
A wheelbarrow.
Like a wheelbarrow. A person, he sort of stands on it, he drags it along with him sort of thing.
Yeah. Would he fit in
he's got
it?
one of those in the garden. You could fit him in it, yeah, if you wanted to. It'll be a bit snug. A bear could pull it, yeah. It'll be a bit snug for him, but you can definitely do that, and one of the bears could pull it along.
Hira, this might be a little easier than you carrying Rodney the entire way, unless you particularly decided you wanted the weight training.
Hey, I'm not that heavy. No, I am.
No, everything does happen. I prefer the use of my hands.
Makes sense.
Okay.
Oh, Rodney, if you might be going, anything else you want from the house before we go?
No, nothing else that I can think of, thank you. If you've got any more of those batteries, that'd be good.
Oh, we have a whole stockpile of them. Do you want me to leave some here for later and then bring the rest to Solomon's?
Yes, please. Could I take some?
Oh,
now?
yes,
Yeah.
here.
Thank
We'll
you.
give him a third. I can't remember how many we got, but I give him a third. We'll leave a third in his house, and we'll take him.
Well, I definitely don't need that many. I'll
okay.
just give me 5 for the minute, please.
Sure.
And as you go to give them to him, he reaches into his apron, which he's been clothed and all that sort of stuff, because before he was sort of more bare-chested and all that. But he goes into his apron and he pulls out like a little metal tin, and he opens the tin out, and there's a slot for 5 of these things to insert into it. And he takes one and he puts each of them in.
How long do they usually last?
Oh, it's been as the years have gone on, it's been getting shorter and shorter. I'll go through probably 3 of these in a day now.
3 in a day?
In a day, yeah. It takes a lot. I don't know. As far as I'm aware, there isn't a cure to stop it from happening. It's just a case of using
If there's not a cure, then we need to work on making these more efficient.
Yeah, or find a cure, or both.
Both does sound good though.
Maybe let us know as soon as you're down to your last, 15 or something.
I will do. Yeah, I'll let you. Yeah, because that then gives you a few days to find. Where did you find these, by the way?
Oh, we got a key
Goggle
to
Springs.
Goggle Springs.
Oh, there was some in Goggle Springs. Oh, I couldn't find any when I went in there before. Okay.
Deception. Free. Weird.
Yeah, weird.
Just having.
We had a very thorough search.
Just
Yeah.
drop him apart, very gently drop him so that it just stops the conversation.
Yep. Thank you. And you can hook one of the bears up and begin making your way to Solomon's. You make your way there, and Rodney's actually a lot more chatty than what he normally is. He seems to have, as the journey goes on, with the cart and the bear, it'll take about half an hour to get to Solomon's, and he talks the entire time. So what's everybody's plans for today? Then I fully understand that what's happened, what's just transpired with myself, has probably taken a lot out of all of your days, which I apologise for, but also thank you. But what else have you got planned? Anything interesting?
Well, there was a group of folks who've come back into town. We got to meet some of the other townsfolk. The mayor. We
Oh,
put Hera. Hera
he,
finally got to meet the mayor.
he winks at you. Those
Oh.
people, right? Yeah.
Tap nose, right?
Tap tap.
Tap tap. So that was nice. These folk got to meet Miss Lighthoof for the first
Oh,
time.
Greta's back. Good.
Yeah.
I need to go see Miss Greta. She'll have some paste and things that I can use to put around the mark and stuff to stop the metal from rubbing.
And again, Rodney, we don't want to take away from you, but just let us know if you need us to run anything for you, or if there's anything in particular you need. We're just trying to be useful at the moment.
I don't normally like accepting help, but I hear what you said before about don't suffer alone and all that sort of stuff. So if I need the help, I will ask. As long as you're not all too busy saving the town and on whatever it is that you heroes do.
Well,
Don't prioritize me or anything. You're all really cool. I like all of you.
You're really cool, Rodney.
I like you too.
No, I'm just a chef who dabbles in a bit of mechanics and used to fight in
More important.
That is such what's the point in being heroic if there isn't good people to come back for? You've taken care of us. You've fed. I keep forgetting to eat, but you've given me something to do. You've kept me like I was saying.
It is very important for you to eat.
No, I'm learning that now, and I'm also clearing out my pockets. I had a nasty habit of keeping food in my pockets, just in case it ran out.
I should never keep food. If you're going to keep food in your pockets, it should always be for you to eat later on. You should never waste any food. I mean, Mr. Udric there should know that being a former, I'm going to guess, former military man. You've got that.
Indeed.
Sorry.
Indeed, your rations should be rationed out.
Exactly. You've got that aura. You've got that sort of stance to you. You stand like you served.
We'll have to do something about that then.
Slight slouch.
Yeah.
Slouch. Slouch. Just pointed at Ulrich. And then
I just feel old now.
No, you're not.
Straight back.
The trick is to pay attention to everything, but not look like you're paying attention.
Okay, but maybe not listen exactly to Hera in that way. Of
Well, no, actually, Miss Hera's onto something there. That's exactly what I was taught when I first joined the military was, when you're standing on parade and things, you need to make it look like you're paying attention, but you don't really need to pay attention. When they start shouting, that's when you need to start paying attention.
So
Have to do the opposite.
yeah, do the reverse of that.
Look like you're not paying attention, but you're paying attention.
Yeah. As the bear sort of goes along a pothole that's in the road. I tell you what, the mayor is a wonderful person and all that, but they really need to get these roads fixed.
Oh, let me give that a go. Is there a pothole? Can I try and druid craft some the soil to or something to fill it in?
Yeah, you can do that using your control of druid, and this would be the first time that everybody's seen you purposely use magic. But yes, you can do that to fill it up to a point where it is sort of matches with the cobblestones. Huh, that's really cool.
Wow. So you just
Getting used to it.
You just made soil out of nothing. That's...
Odric, that's incredible.
It still
Does it
stings.
hurt?
Yeah, it tingles. You kind of got to loosen your hand, but also control your hand. It's weird.
I've been I've been sort of experimenting with magic as well myself recently, and trying to apply some of the stuff that I've learnt as well, and I've found similar things, but also just sort of trusting yourself and really picturing what it is that you want to do and knowing that it will happen really helps.
I'm finding bladder control is the main thing right now.
Oh. I've not found that. Maybe it's an old person thing.
I was going to say, mostly my stuff seems to happen because Hawthorne wants it to happen, which weirdly seems to be what I want to happen. Also, not having bladder issues.
Yeah, oh look, why is there a fox while following you around?
Right, okay, sorry, I don't really... What does the fox look like? Does it look like a full-on fox? Does it look like a ghost? Does it look like mist?
I mean, it depends on where she is. I mean, if she stood here, looks like a full-on fox. She walks over there, can't bloody see her.
Right. Interesting, Radas.
Alive.
Like, these two can't see her. Hera can see the ghost. Are you full on... Perry. She's obsessed with Perry.
I remember you talking about this with Perry before.
Yeah.
Perry has died.
Perry has died.
What? When? What happened? What happened in Golden
No. Perry's
No, no.
Perry's fighting. So, gosh, no. Perry's. Actually, Perry's in a good place. Perry actually found.
We got one of her books.
Yeah.
Lucian almost died in the process.
Would you lead with that?
No, Lucian's also.
He's fine.
We just haven't seen him for a bit, but he's at the
infirmary.
Look at Ron.
I'm going to go to the infirmary next.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
you lot are really bad at starting off conversations.
Oh no, all of us are weirdly socially. So,
Rodney, you were this incident was an undead, right? A land-based undead, and not a water-based drowner bite, right?
I got it during the Rising when
Yes,
I was
okay,
fighting.
fine.
When I was fighting in the wars, there was a big battle. It was actually a pincer attack between the Aslorian forces, which is the kingdom we're currently in, and the Volthiri.
I sort of didn't really need to know the military tactics behind it. I was just checking that Lucian's injury wasn't going to do the same thing as yours.
I
Sorry.
very quietly go. I am interested in that. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah. I'd definitely like to talk about it with someone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Miss Elodie.
No, I'm sorry. That was very rude.
No. Well, again, early, it's a good point. We have a habit of waffling going round, but it's not drowners, which of course is still a problem here. Does kind of mean we can't use the beach.
It's on the to-do list, I suppose. After
We got a lot.
everything, might have to go sail away for a bit as well.
They're attracted to blood. If that helps. I don't know if anybody knew that.
We know.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not really a very sort of nice thing to do, but one thing that we've done in the past, because the net breaks, the net that surrounds the bay breaks every so often anyway, and needs to be repaired, and sometimes you get the odd drowner slip in and all that sort of stuff. So one thing that the fishermen used to do before it got too bad was that they'd pick up all of the animal hearts and animal body pieces that aren't used at the butchers. They put them into these sort of like sacks and nettings and stuff, and then they all sail out beyond the bay, sort of cut them open so they bleed, and then drop them in the ocean, and then the drowners just go wild for them, and then that gives time for the repair crew to go out and fix the netting so they can't get back in. So it could be something you could look into doing.
Did that on the ship when I was coming in. We sort of threw fish guts in. But again, like Udric, if you're able to like draw things together, that might be quicker than, how far do you think you can do it? Do you need, like, I'm like, if you can make like something natural rather than something that might like rocks or like weeds or something. I'm excited. I think this is great that you got these powers. They seem
The way that we distracted them when Perry, Lucian, and I went to fight them was that I made rocks smell like my blood, and we threw those.
All right.
That seemed to be somewhat effective.
I mean,
Wouldn't like my suggestion, so I'm not going to say it. You take one of them and then you just kind of string it up and then you open it up so it'd be a living...
I don't know if they want to eat each other.
Oh, it doesn't have to be one of them.
okay. big step. I mean, I know we don't like certain folks, but that's...
I can think of a few.
I can also think of a few who probably... But
we need to be better than them.
Exactly.
Yes. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm-
No, hey, Hero, not wrong, just different way of looking at things. Sometimes you just need to tell. So you made the rocks. You didn't like put your own blood on the rock. You like just made them smell of blood.
Yes, like
Wow.
like this. We'll do magical tinkering.
Just
Just pick up a stone and do magical
Yeah.
tinkering on it.
it's just. I can confirm that does smell like blood. That's impressive. That's.
I think, just off what you just said, Hira, I think if today and the revelations of the last week have proved, if anything, is that all of us, any of us, have the potential to be harmful or be monstrous according to someone else. But there is, it's not necessarily a be-all and end-all of a person, and people can be redeemed or saved, nodding at Rodney, or forgiven if they have the right people around them. So, whilst I believe that we know some very awful people indeed, I would be curious to find out their whys, as opposed to just knowing their whats and going after them for that.
I've heard that phrase before, or something similar to that anyway. It was a conversation that Tally and Solomon were having about Kimdak, I believe.
I just want to be... Sorry, I was offering something that I have experienced, not something that I believe in.
Of course.
We're all friends here.
Yeah. I
Make
kind
it
of put
clear.
a hand on her shoulder and go, "You're fine. Honestly, no, hey, here, look at us. You're fine. You're one of us. You're good. Okay. Sincerely." Also, to look at Eddie. We're all fine. Yeah. We're all, as you say, we've all done. Well, kind of gesture to Udric. I'm not so sure about Udric, but we've all done things that are to survive that others might not understand. Yes, the best time... Well, actually, take something that Udric would understand. The best time to plant a tree is yesterday. The second best time is today. We're doing some good. We're helping. We seem... The Reavers seem to have gone. That might be bad. They might be planning something, but... We've seen what they've done to this place, and we're fixing the potholes. We're doing some good.
Fixing the potholes.
Fixing the potholes. Sometimes that's all you can do, and ensure, pointing at Rodney, there's a good meal for good people when they come home. Wow, that was I haven't had to try and give like an inspiring speech in a while. That's
You did well, lad.
Thank you. I'm trying. Yeah.
We'll just sort of give her a shy sort of nod that looks a little apologetic.
This is
I'm just going to try to get this group moving forward.
Yeah, I think
I think
we're
we
still
were moving the
traveling.
whole time.
yeah, you're moving the whole time, and Rodney's listening to the conversation. I mean, that was a lovely little heart to heart that you all had, and it was a good bonding experience. Nobody answered my question though. What are your plans for today?
Oh, well, that's a good question. Well,
You got plans?
No, we kind of like
It will takes me to.
same, really. Actually, I think Elodie might try to do some reading. I think that's what you're talking about.
Don't
Oh,
get got.
Yeah.
I was going to find a man to punch in the face.
Fighting pit.
Yeah, fighting pit's a good place to do that.
Yeah. I think Perry's also got a disagreement with, I want to say, the captain of the guards here.
Oh, yeah,
Dragon-
Call him Fluffy.
Fluffy. Yeah.
Fluffy. His name's Thaddeus. I don't know where
Blue-
Fluffy came from, but
It's
Blue Dragonkin, yeah.
no,
Big guy.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you want to go to the pits is a good place to go to if you want to let off some steam. You can get into the arena proper part, which is like sort of dug out into the mountain, as it were. You go into like the performance tent area, which is where you can do your training and all that sort of stuff. And then when you're ready to actually enter into games, whether they be fighting games or technical strategy type games or whatever it is, you then go into the inner mountain part and you can take part. You can get some good gold out of it. It's also a good morale booster for adventurers and as well as people of the town who go.
We might have to do that then. That's also, I think Hero was saying that because there's music as well. Is that good vibe? Is that nice?
Yeah, it's nice. They generally have like a little bit of light music playing during the games. I mean, they'll switch it up between battle music or sort of like nice gentle music depending on what type of game, or suspenseful music depending on the type of game, and then in between sets, as they like to call them, games basically, where they're changing the field around, because we've only got the one arena under the mountain. Some other places have got like multiple areas where they could have things permanently set up, but we've just got the one, so we have to do like a transition thing where it's set up to be a fight, and then they'll put walls and things in and they'll make it a labyrinth so that people can capture the objective and all that sort of stuff. So they normally have a band or a performer that's come in from out of town that will play. It's very rare that any performers from the actual town play, because they tend to leave here as soon as they can. A few of them come back and perform here. Our pits is considered one of the smaller ones, but it's essential if you want to be able to enter the grand tournaments in the city of Abercathus.
I've heard rumours, heard stories. That's impressive. Yeah. Maybe one day we'll get to see them.
Yeah, you also need the seal to be able to enter the preliminary games in Ostragos as well, which you need to then win at Os, or at least get the seal in Ostragos. Not necessarily win the whole thing, but get the seal of approval from Ostragos to then be able to get to. It's the whole gladiator school thing's a whole complicated thing. I tried it once, but
really,
I was about to ask if you'd done it, Rodney. You seem to know an awful lot about it.
I'm an avid fan of it. I was going to ask if you were going to go to the pits, if you could take me with you, because I would love to watch. I don't take part. I'm, obvious reasons now, but yeah, I used to like it when I was. I
mean, you certainly seem to have perked up a little bit. I would be cautious about taking you today.
Oh, I'm fine. I'll be all right. Well, I need a bit of a what's the word that they use for it? It begins with an A. Adrenaline. I need a bit of an adrenaline rush to sort of get rid of any of the fog that I've got sort of clouding me and all that sort of stuff from everything happening. So.
I would have thought adrenaline would probably make the undead side spread more.
No.
That's science, that is.
Well,
but anyway,
that side has pretty much receded. I can see your aura is back.
Yeah, as long as I've got one of those things in one of the batteries in, I'm fine. I'm not going to turn while I've got one of them on. So I will say though that running out of them, the transformation happened a lot quicker than what it has in the past. I thought I had a while left, as did Mr. Solomon and a few other people who knew about it, but it came on really quickly. So that is slightly concerning that when I eventually run out again, that it might.
Well, you won't. We'll find a way to maybe recharge them.
Yeah. The long-term goal would be a cure. Mr. Solomon said that there's probably a cure up in the mountains, but the priority is stopping Kimdak from getting in that temple.
I mean, that is where the temple is.
That's what I mean. Solomon says that there's probably a cure in the temple, but...
in the temple? In
the temple, yeah. You know why Mr. Kimdak's trying to get in there, don't you?
Not really.
This is just between us, and he looks around. You're getting to the bottom of where the ramp is that leads up to the mercenary company now. But this is just between us. Mr. Solomon. I've heard Mr. Solomon and Miss Tally speak about this, and they've said that Mr. Kimdak is looking to get inside. They all used to be friends, family, great in all of this sort of stuff. But Mr. Kimdak wants to bring his wife back to life. Apparently, there's something in there that allows basically people to be resurrected, and for certain conditions to be healed, things that are affected by an unnatural magical energy. I'm not quite sure what that's about. Something to do.
The problem, Rodney, is not necessarily getting inside. I think the problem is how.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you know how to get inside, then the problem you've then got is that it's Kimdak's base. So if you want...
getting the how is not ideal.
No, it's not. And well, I don't know what it is, but I'm guessing it's not. Judging by the fact that Mr. Solomon hasn't just gone up there and done it himself, sort of thing. But I think his main priority is stopping Mr. Kimdak from getting in there. So, as much as I'd like a cure, I have to accept that it's probably not going to happen unless Mr. Kimdak's taken care of.
If he were to get inside, do we think that... I mean, how long has his wife been dead?
Well, long before I came here. I want to say maybe 40 odd years, maybe a bit longer than that.
I suppose the question is, if he were to be able to resurrect his wife, would that stop him being an awful person to the rest of the town? Has he been so driven with madness by his rage, his sorrow, his determination to get her back, do we think that will fix it, or do we think he's unredeemable at this point? Based off what we were just saying before.
Well, I mean, if we're trying to be positive, we gotta give him benefit of the doubt, although I don't think most of us, myself included, want to. And I know sort of the old stories where they talk about, like, oh, I brought my love back, and then it's always like, oh, she's completely different. And it's like, no, it's you that's different. You've changed, I don't know. From what
it seemed like it would be his best chance at redemption, didn't it?
But what cost?
Rick, there's something that you don't know, and this is like looking around to see if there's anyone else nearby other than us.
You're beginning to ascend up towards the mercenary company now. You can see that the workers are not around. Their tools are all still about, so they've probably gone on a lunch break somewhere, probably down to the Rusty Pirate, so everything is completely clear.
Udric, point one, actually, I wanted to thank you for talking to me last night. It was very kind of you and very helpful. Point two, the reason that I panicked, the list of people that they're looking for, I'm on that list.
I see.
Oh, Bram, you were upstairs talking to Greta at the time.
Right.
Hello,
No, if you don't want to give us your name, you don't have to. It's your secret, but,
I prefer Elodie, but
Yeah,
it was Minerva. So we'll sort of glance at Hera, but won't say anything unless Hera pipes up. So we know who they're looking for.
Right.
And looks at Rodney. They want blood to open it. And we're under the belief that it's not a insignificant amount.
Oh, that's not good. Probably why Mr. Kimdak doesn't want anybody going to open it themselves. Then, not Mr. Kimdak, Mr. Solomon, sorry, because he doesn't want.
But one of the things I want to keep looking at, keep researching in Mr. Solomon's library is anything that might lead us to clues as to why it didn't work before, and if there's anything else that we can try, and if there is another way, or if there's a different incantation, or anything like that. So, I'm not saying we'll never open the temple. I'm just saying that maybe Kimdak's way is not going to be the way that it opens, but also maybe if it helps him, then we should try either way.
There was something that I remember. Again, being an employee of Mr. Solomon and not being sort of within the inner circle, as it were, has led me to certain sort of eavesdropping advantages, as it were. I've heard Mr. Solomon talking before. I don't know who he was talking to, but he was talking to somebody. It was one of the times when I was in the kitchen. And he was saying about how he needed to contact somebody up north, up north and to the west a bit, or someplace, something rest or somewhere. There's somebody there who he used to work with. What was it called? Marley Rest. That's what it's called. A little place up there. Apparently, there's somebody who he used to work with, who was doing some research into something to do with the temple. I don't know what it was exactly. Couldn't quite hear all of it, but maybe you might find answers there.
Wasn't the Marley Rest, isn't that an island over to the east?
Oh, I believe so. I'm not 100% sure.
You just said the west.
You had a hard day.
I've had a hard day, yeah.
Okay,
Josh knows what he means, but I'm going to put it down to Rodney. Rodney's a bit,
absolutely.
Also,
a bit discombobulated.
He heard through a door.
Yeah.
I think, as we were sort of saying, I was like, well, that's interesting. That's the second time we heard about that place in the last couple of days.
Oh.
It might be useful for some of us to go there anyway.
Extra stuff. I guess. It's also nice to know there's people there, people who might be willing to help us. Okay. I think as we struggle to get the cart up the hill.
You all struggle to get the cart up the hill, and then it suddenly gets really light, and you're like, "Oh, you think, one of the bears is what the other bear is helping." Rodney's got out and is pushing it as well.
Rodney, no.
What?
Right.
You all look like you were struggling. I want to help.
The strain. You don't open your stick. Oh.
What?
Right. Right. Does one of us want to go get Solomon rather than having to? Unless Rodney, you want to go down those stairs.
Hey, I'll go downstairs. It's fine.
Oh, he's off.
Can I just check, Josh? Do we think it's unusual at all that he has healed so quickly?
I won't let you roll for that. You don't need to roll for that, I should say. The healing that Udric has done to him seems to have helped massively and has allowed him to sort of get a spring back into his step. I mean, you technically didn't fight him at all and do any damage to him. So when his living side took back over the undead side, he was fully healed anyway. He just had a few cuts and scrapes on him. So, yeah, his bounce back has been pretty quick. That was a really bad stealth roll on that chocolate there.
Don't you?
I wasn't trying to be stealthy. I was like, okay, sure, I'm going to have a snack while you say.
You have a
It
snack break.
looked like you were trying to do that so stealthily, but it just went, it got stuck. And you're like,
you have a snack break when there's, like, lore happening. We should all...
I was listening.
Yeah.
No, that wasn't me having a moan or anything. It was just like, normally I don't
Handful of
catch these
peanuts,
things. I
maybe.
just saw it and I was like, that's really bad stealth
I've been eating
check.
chocolate the whole way through.
How are you doing, blooper reel? You good? You keeping up?
Sometimes you just need a snack, okay?
Sometimes you need a
Sometimes
snack.
it's while lore is happening.
That was, just so everybody is aware, that was not me moaning about anybody eating on stream. I don't mind it. It's just, it's the first time I've actually seen it, and it looked like Nat was trying to cover it up and doing a very bad job at it.
I'm just a clumsy eater, all right?
Usually Nat ducks down. That's
when I'm blowing my nose.
Could you just link in a little bit of chocolate then? As a treat for a good nose blow? Wow.
Anyway,
back to the very serious, sad game.
Wait.
A pocket full of little chocolate chips that blow my nose. I never really.
I've actually just like carved them up so I can inhale them instead.
Dangerous.
Mucus out and chocolate in.
Right, yeah.
Anyway.
Rodney goes down the stairs.
Oh, he's off.
I guess we go after him.
Yeah.
You go. I'm going to just stay on this level.
I guess we don't all need to go poking her down in his. I mean,
You seem fine.
I mean, Elodie, you're. I don't. Never split the party. You're going down there anyway, aren't you?
That was my intention, yes.
So, Hera, do you still want to go and kick some things?
As I say about myself, like, I'll shout if anything comes for me.
Are you just staying on guard? I mean, I'm not anticipating being long, or maybe I am.
Well, he's got a lot of stuff, and to be fair, Solomon's more willing to talk to us now. You can ask about the Marley stuff. There's extra, research. It's all good. It's for planning and then the science. Actually, Udrik, what do you want to? What do you want to do?
I was just going to have a sit down.
Smart. I don't think we've been doing enough of that, really. Just stop it.
He's just gonna find like a just a clear corner with no debris or anything like that, and it's just gonna kind of sit down in a kind of cross-legged pose, just have a bit of quiet and calm.
Rather than the kids babbling around.
Well, you say that. You have a bit of quiet. As everybody else, whoever else goes downstairs, go downstairs. You have a bit of a quiet and calm for about 10 seconds before one of the bears nudges you.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one sort of gets up on its back legs and puts its paws over your shoulders and sort of gives you a bear hug and just puts all of its weight on you as you're trying to relax.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You just get that.
Uh-huh.
You just get, because I'd say you've cast the Speak of Animals spell enough and spoken to them to now begin to understand them a bit more. And now that they've matured a bit very quickly and they are magical in their own nature, you can sort of use their auras to communicate with them. And they're basically thanking you for looking after them and what's that in your pack? I want to eat it.
What was I saying about rationing earlier? You got to wait till dinner.
We weren't paying any attention. We're too busy eating berries.
Well, I guess I'll make you some more berries. I'm going to have a go at casting Goodberry.
As soon as the berries appear in your hand, their snouts are straight in it, sort of munching away at them.
Probably because they each took some damage from the bed.
Yeah, and they leave one, and both of them nudge the hand towards you for you to have it.
My Goodberries kind of look like blackberries, but like very purple. Very brambly as well.
Very brambly.
Hey, I would say if they look very purpley, they are a bit hesitant to eat them to start off with. You reassure them that it's okay, and then they trust you, so they start munching on them.
More the purple like a blueberry is, where it's not blue, but it is that kind of purpley kind of, yeah.
Possibly.
What blue foods exist in nature? Blueberries.
Blueberries.
They're purple. They're purple.
So as Udrik sits down at the top of the area with the two bears, Elodie goes downstairs with Rodney and
If you
Bran.
two want to go ahead to the fighting pits, I can catch up with you later.
No,
I'll have Rodney with me.
No, that'd be great. So there's we have to sign. Well, actually, you've never been to a fighting pit before, have you, Hera?
Not the ones you have.
The licensed one.
No.
Well, you're going to need to get registered. So yeah, no, we'll go get that the paperwork done, and then maybe come along later. We'll get some food or something.
And you didn't tell me there was admin to do there. But sure, yes, you go on ahead.
We can set up a new team, and you can do some paperwork, stamps, fancy stamps.
That sounds fun.
I think also sort of like Udric is like same for you, Udric. If you want to come along in a bit, Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. We'll get food in a bit. Just signing forms. Anyway, good job, team.
I want to eat as they wander off.
Yeah.
Come on, Rodney, let's see Mr. Solomon.
Rodney and Elodie head down the stairs. Udric stays with the bears upstairs just to keep an eye on Elodie, and the other two go to the fighting pits. Takes you a bit of time to get there. As you get closer to the pits, you can see it's quite busy. There's lots of people coming in and out of the actual tent itself. As you enter in, it is very much a case of it's bigger on the inside, not because of anything magical or anything like that, but because the tent is right up against the mountain. It goes as it sort of extends outwards, and it opens out into this massive, almost natural formed cavern. And you can see that there are seats that are set up all around in a circle where people can watch fights happening. The actual tent area itself, there is a sort of reception area where you need to get yourself signed in, and then there's another little section that you can go into where there's like training dummies and things where you can do like little practice things and all that sort of stuff. That's where Perry's been previously and done little practices. You do catch the sight of a large scythe in the crowd at some point as looks like Perry's here somewhere, but you look away to look at each other and go, "Oh, Perry's," and then look back and it's disappeared.
Oh, that's another point here. You're gonna need like a fighting name, it's like a stage name, or you could. I mean, if you want to fight under your own name, that's fine. But
go by here. People here.
That's fair. I kind of got mine thrust upon me. I don't. Hopefully, I mean, I'm a was it 0 to 1? I lost in the only official fight I had, but I went did the rounds, so it's not a name of shame or anything. But here I mean, here is a good name. Here it makes sense to fight under.
Names given before deeds indicate some sort of institutional reasoning, and that's never a good thing.
I did try and fight under my own name, and the announcer said it was rubbish, which isn't true. It's a strong name, but I think Bram. I like to think there's tokens. Bram has got into his pack and has produced this. This is They called me Broken Shield, which was funny because I had a broken shield, and then there was a guy called Bone Hammer who broke some bones, but I got better. That was literally ripped my scars open. It was fine. It's weirdly bloody. I'm gonna say, having been in combat, I don't. That might just be Grimport, but the crowd really. Showmanship as well. They like it when you play up and taunt. So there's performance to it.
Well, I just want.
You just want to hit things.
No, you're right. It might be practice to do this differently.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be fun.
So let's go do a thing. Woo!
Put up a hand of a high five. Clack.
You can approach the reception desk and you can see a elven woman stood behind it with hair sort of tied up into a bun at the top, glasses and spectacles that sort of lower down. For Bram, this person has a very similar sort of look to them as the quartermaster in Grimport. So you would assume that this is the quartermaster of the pits here. And as you approach the desk, yes, 2 new fighters for the pits, or are you here to spectate?
Yeah, no. It transfers over. I fought in the pits to the north, in Grimport.
Do you have a license? If you have a license, then certainly that will transfer over.
Got a hand a token over.
Brilliant. Yes, thank you. Right. Okay, yes. Hands that back.
Thank you.
Broken shield.
Broken shield of Grimport, 0 for 1. And my associate here would like to...
Sorry, what was your name, dear?
Castillo.
Hira Castillo. Okay, I will get that written down. I just need you to sign some paperwork and some declarations to say that if you get injured in any form of contest that you take part in, that it is not our problem and it is your problem. We do have healers on site that will heal any injuries as to the best that they can, but our resources are limited and there is chance of scarring. We haven't had anybody die for a few years, so you're pretty safe there. And she sort of slides that over for you to sign.
Fair enough. I'm just going to ask RDM if I've had a chance to have a short rest at any point.
Oh, you definitely had, and everybody's had a chance to have a short rest.
Heal up.
You've done plenty of walking and talking.
Okay. That.
Now, what I will ask, and she takes the one. Do you sign the paperwork?
Yeah.
Yep. She takes the paperwork away and she hands it to a human gentleman who is wearing almost like blacksmithing clothes. He takes it and disappears, and you can hear the sounds of steam and stuff coming from behind a curtain. And while that's happening, she goes, right, we've got a couple of things going on at the moment. We've got some one-on-one fighting. This is more of a less of a it's pretty much like a what do they call it, a slugfest, where you just go ham on each other. We've got more of a traditional performance-based combat. We've got some objective-based games, and we've also got some performance competitions that are happening at the moment. So whichever one you would like to do, I will get you signed up for.
Which is the one where I get to fight people?
Well, you've got the performance-based fighting or the one-on-one fighting. Performance-based is team games.
Do you want to politely
I mean,
ask?
teamwork. Yeah, no, teamwork does make the dream work, but I've got a feeling you'll probably sort of like slightly. It's like, well, we fought alongside each other before. We've kind of got an understanding. I'll tell you what. Let's do the slugfest, and we can.
Yes, that one.
Yeah, if
I
you're
would
looking,
like to punch a man.
yes, if you'd like to actually fight somebody, then the slugfest is probably the best one for you. Performance takes a bit of finesse and can sometimes take the fun away of hitting somebody in favor of playing up to the crowd.
Or a non-man. But
sometimes it's animals.
I don't
Yes.
want to punch an animal.
Well, we haven't had any animals in this particular pit for a while, but yes, that is true. We do sometimes get animals in that are trained to fight and all that sort of stuff. But eventually that man comes...
My daughter will cry.
Okay. Eventually that man comes back and you can see that he's got a coin and he hands that to you. This is your... The quartermaster speaks again. This is your seal to say that you are able... Or your coin to say that you're able to fight. Take this to any of the pits that you come across on your journeys, if you are traveling between towns or anything like that, and you'll be able to participate in various competitions. Looking at your friend's record here, you can see that she's pulled out a Rolodex and she's pulled out a bit of card that says Broken Shield on it. Apparently, you don't have your qualification. You're not qualified to create a school or anything like that at the moment, so you'll have to pass some additional tests if you'd like to do that. But if you just want to get in and get a slug fest going on, we do have a fight coming up in a moment. Somebody's looking for an opponent to fight against, so you can jump straight into that if you'd like to.
Okay,
Pat Hero on the shoulder. You got this. You know
I know.
it. It's friendly banter. Here's. I was about to call you Here's. That's not a good abbreviation. Hero. For me.
I would prefer no nicknames.
Noted. I'm not Perry. I don't do the nicknames. Yeah. I'll spectate on this one.
So you go to spectate. You go sit in the crowd. A large crowd begins to gather, and you can see Hera for yourself. You are taken through what would be considered like the gladiator sort of entranceway sort of thing, and you are led into the arena proper. There are 4 pillars that are in the arena. Could be used for cover. There is sand all over the sand or rock dust or something like that all over, which I'm guessing sand is probably rock dust to be fair, all over the arena as the, sort of like the thing that you fight in. And standing across from you is a figure standing probably 6 foot to 6'5", wearing finely made plate armor, but with lots of like red rags all over them, so it's like a red hood covering their face and a red scarf pulled up over their face and like a cloak and everything that sort of dripped over one side. They've got like a regal look to them with the armor, but the rags and things that they're wearing sort of tones that down a little bit, and they're carrying a large warhammer in one hand, and they, as you walk in, they just thrust their arm down and it begins lighting up with fire. I'd like you to roll initiative, please.
Ooh.
Hey.
Get him.
Woo. I don't know where I got a flag from, but Bram has got like a little flag with
We're
an H on
Hera's
it.
logo on it already.
Yeah.
21.
You're
You're
muted,
muted.
Josh.
I'm muted. I got a 14, so you get to go first.
Fantastic. I would like to bonus action hex them and then Eldritch blast them in the face.
Nice. So you cast Hex, and this sort of purplish aura sort of comes over them. And what are you hexing on them?
Ooh. They look like they're punchy or dexy?
They look like they're strong. They look like they're they could be quite dexy, but they look stronger.
Yeah, strength then.
Yeah, wearing plate armor, they probably look like they're a bit stronger. Yeah, so you can do strength. That's just strength checks, isn't it?
Mm.
That's not going to affect attack rolls or anything. I think that's how Hex works.
Checks, but like if grappling comes up at any point.
Yeah, for skill checks, cool. But yeah, it's your turn. Please roll me Eldritch Blast attacks.
That is. Ooh, I can do numbers. That is a 21 to hit. I like this die.
21 will hit. Roll me some Damagios.
Fantastic. So that is going to be a 10 plus an extra d6. That is 7 points of force damage and 4 points of necrotic.
Ooh, as you is that with this necrotic from Divine Smite?
No, it's from the hex.
Oh yeah, the hex. Duh. Yes, if you would like to explain how that damage comes across with the hex.
I think I use a lot of the word focus when I talk about any magic that I cast, and I think it's just because it's how I think of it. It's as well. So, but I think it's just adding that extra bit of force into it, an extra bit of power. But you can see on the edges that the kind of magic that Hero does is very purple tinged. But I think it's kind of lighter, kind of like a bit like more pinky on the edges, kind of containing the darker purple. I kind of like she's trying to make this weird warlock magic her own. So it's not quite the dark purple that she used to. It's not the gold tinged it was when she was first kind of coming up into being a paladin, but kind of like more like this dice. Actually, it's exactly how I describe it.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, so as this blast hits in their shoulder, hits into their shoulder, and they recoil back at it, you don't really hear much of a noise come from them as they sort of pull their form back and they begin walking towards you. They're about 50 feet away, so they're going to walk 30 feet to be within 20 feet of you. And as they do, they begin throwing their hammer up in the air, and it sort of spins around and they catch it, a bit like Thor style. And then this figure spins the hammer around and just chucks it at you.
Boo!
Ooh.
Yay!
Like, that is going to be a 21 to hit you.
Boo!
Yeah. I don't think I can reaction myself.
You watch as the hammer hits into you. As the hammer sort of travels towards you, the fire around it begins to burn up and increase. You are going to take... That's not the dice that I want. Oh, that's the... What other one? You take 12 points of bludgeoning damage and 9 points of radiant damage. Ooh. As the hammer hits into you and then disappears into flame and appears back in their hand again.
Cool. I can't do math. What was that? 12?
It's 12 plus 9, so that's 21 in total.
Oh, shit.
Oh, dear.
I would like to hellish rebuke them with my reaction and response.
You can definitely do that, yep. I will say that you know that attack was empowered with a divine smite.
Okay. Cool.
Smite battle.
Oh god.
Paladin off.
Paladin off. Which one's another turn?
Would it
11.
be paladin off or would it be palad off? We've got paladon.
Palador.
Because we're paladons, we're palad off.
I need to make a dex save, don't I?
11, yeah.
Smite fight.
The dex save.
I rolled an 11.
Fantash. Shoot. Okay. 5 points.
5 is 5.
5 is 5.
And
luckily, I do not have the spell slot for that, so I'm happy.
As they are engulfed in flame, they don't wince at the flame itself, but they sort of shrug it off, and it almost like evaporates off of them. They still take the damage; they're not resistant to it or anything, but the hammer does come back at you again. Oh no, that's not very good. That's a 10 to hit you.
Yes.
The hammer, you just duck out of the way, the hammer flies past you, disappears into flame again, and appears in their hand, and they just point the hammer at you and just gesture for you to come at them.
Fantastic. I have... You're being cruel to me. 11's better than 32. Just trying to work out if I... With my one spell slot, I can heal myself or just divine smite it. Divine smite it, that's fun. I'm gonna hit it.
Go for it. Roll me an attack roll, please.
Natural 20, babe.
That natural 20, yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Nice.
Okay.
Thank God.
Okay, so
I'm terrified.
So crit rules. Take the... What's your weapon damage? It's normally?
2d8.
2d8. Oh, yes. Because, so you got 2d8 maximize that to 16, and then roll double damage.
So that's the divine smite. The weapon itself is I'm exhausted.
Oh, so yes, the weapon itself will be a D8, wouldn't it? Because it's a...
What was it? So it's 3d8 technically, I guess?
No, because it's a... Did
So
we
it's
say it was
one-
a... No, sorry.
It's 1d8 for the sword, 2d8 for the divine smites.
Yeah. Yeah, so you will take... I'm getting characters mixed up here because I was thinking of Great Axe for the Scythe for Perry. So yeah, we'll take the D8, maximize that to an 8, add your strength modifier or dex modifier. Strength for you, isn't it?
Yeah, strength.
Yeah. So what's your strength?
3.
So that'll be 11, and then you roll a total of... Hang on, total of 6d8. There'll be 2d8 for the weapon, and then your divine smite will be doubled as well, so that'll be another 4d8.
Plus a d6. Because of
Funny that
hex.
the smite gets doubled.
Plus 2d6 for the hex. It's normal crit rolls, all dice rolls you roll get doubled.
Hey, okay. Hey. This guy helped me pretty quickly. Anything get me out of this? That's always 38.
Okay. So how does this look as you attack? How this incredible critical hit?
Pull back. As they've moved to me, I've been trying to work out their movements and where their weaker points are. I'm going to hone in on that, and then I'm just going to go and run and slide my sword right into that point.
So this person has not really put, other than the pointing the hammer at you and then gesturing for you to attack them, they've not really been in much of a fighting pose to block your attacks or anything. It's like they've kind of gone more for taking the hits head on. But that signifies that there's a massive weakness in their stance. So you just run forward, slide, and slash across their side. They don't try to block it, they just allow it to hit into them. But they don't expect it to hit with as much force as it does. And you cut through the not the breastplate, the plate armor, and slash into their flesh, and blood sort of splurts out. And you hear a audible noise as they fall to one knee. The hammer slams into the floor, a little eruption of fire comes out, and they just turn to look at you and they go, it seems the Harbinger still has a little bit of power, didn't they? And as they stand up, they pull their hood back. Bram, you recognize this person instantly, and Hera might as well, actually. Bram's mother has stood in the arena. And that is where we are going to end tonight's session. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. We have been Roll Together RPG. If you like what you see, if you like what you have watched, then please do consider watching us on Mondays or Tuesdays at 6 p.m. UK time for D&D content or live streams. Massive thank you to our sponsors and supporters, and to the D20 Club on Patreon. They are fantastic. They are the best. You can join them from as little as one of your local currency per month, or one goat, which must be sent to Tom. And we will see you next time. Goodbye.